The story begins with a pitch-black sky thunder rumbling from above, accompanied by the fierce and violent attack of dragons filled with murderous intent. 20 years after the alien monsters invaded Earth, the end of the world has finally come. The entire world is now engulfed in flames and chaos. Everything has turned to ashes, leaving only a pile of desolate ruins. Naturally, the survivors can no longer sit idly by and witness this tragic scene. Humanity launches its final counterattack, and among them is the Dragon Lord Kabuna. Listen, the only way to end this war is to eliminate the ruler of the alien race. Sacrifice your last breath for humanity, as they have been pushed to the brink of death and have nothing left to lose. They are determined to fight bravely until they meet their ancestors. At this moment, the leader of the alien race hovers in midair, whispering some incantation to prepare for a large-scale attack on humanity. In an instant, a red energy sphere emerges from his mouth like a bullet ready to be fired at them. Shortly after, that sphere collides with the ground, creating a terrifying explosion like never before, as if it wants to tear the very sky apart. Now, before the leader lies a path that has been widened by the previous explosion, marking the beginning of humanity's end. In this precarious situation, our protagonist Hyok feels a burning rage inside him and can no longer sit back charging forward that bastard. "I will kill you." But just as he is about to leap forward, Kabuna blocks Hyok's path. "Stop!" His condition is clearly not good. He has lost half of his arm. "Kabuna, your arm." "I'm fine." They can clearly see that the alien side has the upper hand, leaving them no choice but to concede a step back. Stopping him with humanity's current strength is impossible. The only option left is to use that method. This is the time reversal stone, humanity's last hope, discovered at the end of the 20-year war. The stone allows its possessor to return to the past once. However, the power of this stone can only be used by one individual. Only one person can wield the time reversal stone. If one must go, that person must be you, Hyok. At this moment, realizing he will be the hope humanity relies on, he feels a bit taken aback. The reason he has been entrusted with such a great responsibility is that Hyok possesses a rare supreme power. He is a genius hunter, a once-in-a-century talent capable of this. The fate of 8 billion people depends on him. At this point, he grits his teeth, filled with determination that he will complete this mission entrusted to him. All right. With time running out, Hyok must use the time stone to return to the past. In the next life, may we all be able to. The entire space is now enveloped in mystical purple light, and everyone watches Hyok's time reversal process without taking their eyes off him. The purple light from the stone grows stronger, demonstrating its unparalleled power. Meeting with a smile, that phrase is also the last farewell before the stone takes Hyok back to the past. Now his body is left with a large hole in his chest. They are gone. Everyone left behind is filled with hope that Hyok can change humanity's tragic fate once again. I don't know why, but I feel more relieved now. That person will have to bear all the burdens alone from now on. Our part is done. However, that girl stands up, looks ahead, and smiles. No, we still have one last thing to do. The alien ruler, at least we must fight one last time. Hyok will change the future, but they, those in the present, will fight until their last breath. Kabuna agrees with her sentiment. That's right. There is still a long way to go. One last time, let's fight. They stand together, fighting back against the darkness that the aliens have brought to humanity, even in the moments close to death. Escaping from that fiery and bloody darkness, Hyok has now returned to the past, when the sky is still blue for humanity. He wakes up slowly in his familiar room, wondering, where am I? Is this my old room? Did I succeed? After realizing he has been given another chance to prevent future disasters, he clenches his fist with determination. Thank God I returned at the perfect time. I still have about 7 months before the invasion occurs. And of course, Hyok couldn't do anything with this weak body of a snail, so he planned to spruce himself up a bit. Until then, he had to train this frail body and stock up on resources for the crisis. Because he held the fate of all humanity in his hands, Hyok couldn't afford to slack off for even a second. The destiny of 8 billion people depended on him. Then Hyok immediately put on his jacket and ran outside. This time he had to awaken right when the first outbreak occurred. Until then, he needed to train his body to be ready. 7 months later at Bukhansan, he had moved his arms and legs quite a bit. Finally, the moment had come. In 1 minute and 30 seconds, a wormhole would open up right here. Hyok was in a ready stance for the first encounter. His body was far from peak condition, but at least he had met the minimum requirements. In 1 minute, a wormhole would appear at that rock, and along with it, a wave of mana would surge forth. Like a baptism, it forced a change in the human body and engraved a channel for mana awakening into it. He then picked up a stick. The real issue was that the vanguard of the foreign race would appear simultaneously with the wormhole. In Korea, those were giant ants and four-legged cockroaches. Hyok recalled the days of his peak. They were nothing more than fodder for soldiers. But now even 5 or 6 awakened hunters would struggle against just one. The 5-second countdown began, and he had prepared himself for what was about to happen. But with his experience, he would be able to handle them. It was about to open. 3, 2, 1. The 5-second countdown ended, and Hyok's face was filled with tension. His body was tense as well. This was it. Finally, the moment Hyok had prepared and waited for had arrived. However, after waiting through his youthful years, nothing happened in front of him which left him utterly dumbfounded. At this point, Hyok thought there must be something wrong, so what he was waiting for hadn't happened yet. Yes, it could be a 10-second discrepancy, so he just needed to wait a little longer. And then night fell. Hyok was utterly fed up as he waited endlessly without a single shadow appearing. He was soaked like a drowned rat in this rain. Damn, it's been 10 hours. What the hell is going on? After realizing he had been rooted here since the time of the dinosaurs, he lost patience and decided to leave. Yes, he must have miscalculated the day. He would come back tomorrow. Tomorrow turned into a week, and Hyok's odd appearance finally caught the attention of some climbers. Oh my, what's that student doing here? Let's go. He looks a bit crazy. A month later, Hyok had sat still for so long that he had turned into a statue. The tourists were now taking fancy check-in photos. Look, it's the legendary statue of Bukhansan. Come closer, everyone. Who would have thought his persistence lasted for half a year and his prehistoric appearance was even featured in the news? A hermit had meditated at Bukhansan for 6 months, and the parents of students were praying. Wait, isn't that him? What's that kid doing? Who would have guessed that Hyok would get a severe twist of fate? The world remained surprisingly peaceful, and the little darling found Hyok the savior of humanity after a long, painful wait. 3 months later, I became a day laborer. Hey, isn't Hyok coming? He's on his way. Lone wolf, mad dog, demon hunter, shadow, ninja, Kashi, genius. The first to eradicate the dominant species, a war god among the 9 heroes, and many more titles. How many titles have been bestowed upon me, Hyok, in 10 years as a hunter? And finally, the savior. The heaviest and most sacred title given to him by the hopes of humanity. I never thought that among all people I would now be called a seasonal worker. How humiliating. How can I face others? Despite waiting for 6 months, the outbreak still hadn't happened. No alien races, no individuals awakening with supernatural powers. All of that simply didn't exist in this world. I finally had to accept that this was a different Earth from the world I knew. Although the theory of multiverses and parallel worlds was very popular, I never thought this would happen to me. Yet even though things didn't unfold as he expected, Hyok still felt a sense of relief. After all, the fact that the outbreak didn't happen was truly a blessing for the people of this world. Hyok looked up at the vast blue sky and had to accept his new fate in this world, even if it meant that all the sacrifices of the resistance forces were in vain. That's how it should be. I should enjoy this peace for a while. Just as he was stretching under the sunlight, a phone notification suddenly rang. Opening his phone, he saw a notification from the bank. Lee, your installment loan payment of $238,456.1 is scheduled to be withdrawn on July 30th. Your loan is overdue. Mr. Lee is notifying you that as of July 2024, $146,948.1 is overdue. 365 Hope Loan Manager Kim An-hyuk is handling the deposit today, Miss Loan. Please send $450,001 before 6 p.m. today. After reading those annoying debt collection notices, he finally dragged himself home, and a moment later at Hyok's family house, "Hey, sit down for a bit, what's going on now?" And the lioness, pointing at Hyok and scolding him, is Ji and his younger sister. "What's going on now? What have you been doing lately? You're unemployed and keep disappearing." With her keen observational skills, she started getting angry at Hyok. "Since last year, you've been buying gas masks and all sorts of weird stuff. Don't tell me you're getting involved in some multi-level marketing scheme." Right then, the monster inside Ji-an erupted, grabbing Hyok's shirt and shouting directly at him. "A year ago, you suddenly left home and said the world was ending and piled up millions of won worth of stuff in the basement. Do you know how worried Mom is? Who would have thought that after escaping the harsh present, he would return to the past and live in a hellish world full of tears? Damn it, I know this world isn't ending." This is Hyok's plan with the resistance group. First, borrow money from anywhere possible. Money. Even if it's high interest, borrow everything you can to prepare for the outbreak. Hearing this, he asked Kabuna, "So what happens next?" He replied, "After that, who cares what happens? When the outbreak occurs, the world will end anyway, right? Who in their right mind would go chasing after debts? But the world didn't end, and maybe it will continue peacefully without ending. In other words, I can't just wash my hands of the money I borrowed. What are you proud of?" After Jian vented her frustrations at him for a while, she crossed her arms and made a suggestion. "I know you're working part-time to pay off that pile of goods. Instead, why don't you help me stream online? I'll pay you." Hearing this, he recalled and asked, "That thing where you wear weird stuff on your head?" She didn't beat around the bush and said directly, "I need to win this game. I need your help." Hyok started to doubt his life choices, but I've never done that before. However, Jian seemed to have complete faith in his abilities and kept trying to convince him, "You're always good at sports and stuff. You'll adapt quickly. You're the only one I can count on." Hyok felt he had no way to escape and reluctantly accepted, "All right, but how much can you actually earn from streaming?" She didn't hide anything and revealed her incredible income, 15 million. Upon hearing this, Hyok felt like he had just found the light of his life and was taken aback. "What?" To prove she wasn't exaggerating, Jian held her phone up in front of him. "My income has reached 15 million, won a month after just a few months of streaming. I'll pay you half of my salary." At this point, Hyok completely changed his view of Jian. "My sister is shining." And so during this time, Hyok, the savior of humanity, decided to become his sister Jian's slave for a while. "Are you ready then?" "Yes, master." For both sides to benefit, Jian and Hyok happily shook hands to cooperate. "Let's get started then." Not long after, they both entered the virtual game space, and here their characters were preparing to face various challenges. Destroying the entire world where you face enemies through farming, a super difficult horror adventure combat game dubbed the Graveyard of Newbies. And now they stood before the first level, a haunted and mysterious mansion waiting for them to solve. Players have appeared, the game begins. The official livestream started following Hyok and Jian as they entered that creepy mansion. "Let's go, they really make this abandoned house look terrifying. I'd probably cry if I had to do a courage challenge there. Hyok, stay close to me." In contrast to Hyok's chill demeanor, Jian was so scared she could only hide behind him. "Is this place really that scary? The house looks perfect for a good night's sleep, right? Hyok, can you go slower?" Seeing her so frightened, he advised, "All right, stick close to me." The viewers on the live stream were also feeling the tension. They're walking in like it's nothing. Their fear is so cute, but is it really okay to just walk in like that? After entering the mansion, Hyok stepped onto the staircase to go upstairs. While they were tiptoeing up suddenly, a notification popped up making them feel like their hearts were about to jump out. "After receiving a letter from your missing wife, you and your current wife arrive at the abandoned house where she disappeared." Something just jumped out. Because they were just clueless newbies starting the game, a transport guide was also provided to direct them. What's this? But who would have thought Hyok would mess up by accidentally refusing help, causing Jian to explode in anger, pulling her hair out? "Are you crazy? This game is already hard enough. Why did you skip the tutorial?" When Hyok realized he had just committed a grave sin, he chuckled awkwardly and rubbed his head. "Sorry, it was blocking the way, so I clicked without thinking." However, given Hyok's cluelessness, Jian couldn't really blame him. She decided to let it slide since she trusted a newbie. Other comments started popping up, acting like he wasn't the rookie here. Typical double standards from Chu, so cute. Realizing she couldn't expect much from Hyok, she quickly turned to the online community for advice. "Hey everyone, give me some tips. I haven't checked any guides yet. I'll just learn as I go. First, I need to farm some weapons. You have to look for clues around. The key is the stun grenade. There aren't many effective weapons against the boss, so just focus on escaping. The most important thing is to set the difficulty right. No matter what, don't choose realistic mode." After hearing their advice, she immediately practiced. "All right, stun grenade run from the boss." While Jian was struggling over here, Hyok was going all out over there completing the realistic mode. Just earlier, they said not to choose it, and now seeing him dive headfirst into danger like this left them all stunned. Wait, realistic mode. Before they knew it, he officially reported Jian for round 2. She couldn't take it anymore and switched to lion mode, charging at him. "Hey, you crazy guy, what are you doing this time? Why is this happening to me?" He just touched the doorknob to see if it would open, and then something strange appeared. Seeing such a rough start, Jian slumped down feeling 3 parts helpless and 7 parts like a loser. The bet for this first round was over 1,000,000 won. Everyone found their cluelessness hilarious. These two looked like they were in a comedy failing right from the start like a dog. Chu was adorably desperate. User Lipshu requested 1,000,000 won mission complete realistic mode in 3 tries. Time left 47 minutes and 59 seconds. User Guardian Chu requested a 500,000 won mission complete in realistic mode with unlimited tries. Time left 47 minutes and 59 seconds. Seeing the prize money in front of them, they felt empowered and focused 100% on the mission. The Supreme Lipshu and Guardianchu had spoken. Yes, Master Despair is a luxury we can't afford. Watching them switch gears like that, everyone found it hilarious. 2 brothers enslaved by capitalism despair can be cured with money. Just look at that serious face. But life isn't a dream. While both brothers were eagerly diving in, a corpse suddenly appeared hanging in front of them. It scared both of them out of their wits. Jian, of course, was terrified and only dared to let him check it out. Hyok, go ahead. Meanwhile, everyone suggested the scariest house ever check behind the corpse. There should be a hand axe and a pistol there. Just as they said, Hyok quickly found the hot items and tossed them to Jian, but she seemed pretty clumsy with this stuff. Here, Hyok, I'm not good with guns. Hearing that, he raised an eyebrow and asked, Really? So you're more confident with the axe you have to stab it straight in? But just a second later, she changed her mind. Oh no, my dream is to become a sharpshooter. Surprise, old lady, before Jian could prepare herself, a monster with fierce red eyes charged at her. Here it comes, the rookie shredder neck hugger. Faced with this terrifying sight, Jian was startled, her face pale as if she had lost her soul. Seeing this, Hyok rushed forward with one hand on the axe, bravely attacking it. The viewers couldn't help but gasp at this epic scene. What the heck, he blocked the hugger's attack with just one hand. With his extensive combat experience, it didn't take long for him to take off one of its arms. The hugger, suddenly losing a beloved part of itself, let out a painful scream. But that wasn't the end. The previous blow was just a warm-up. Now was the time for him to send it to the afterlife. Look at that insane. Did he take it down with just one hit? Look over there, another hugger is coming. Hyok had successfully taken down the first one, but the next moment he still had to face a few more. The situation was tense as Hyok was surrounded by a bunch of huggers, but with his lightning-fast reflexes, he didn't hesitate to teleport forward. On the other side, the huggers weren't pushovers either, charging at him aggressively. After a moment of gathering momentum, Hyok jumped forward, ready to show them some manners. The next second, Hyok zipped past them like a flash of lightning moving at the speed of light, and he casually swung a few clean cuts without any wasted motion. This is insane! Did I just see that right? I can't explain this. I have no idea what just happened. Hyok is safe now, standing proudly after swiftly taking down the huggers. Suddenly, he turned to Jian with a grim expression and asked, You must be scared, right? Perhaps she had just experienced a shocking moment and hadn't calmed down yet, accidentally raising her gun and firing a shot at Hyok before he could react. It seems Jian was the one who got the whole group reported this time, as she had him log out of the game right away. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Mission failed player Hyok is dead. Restarting, reloading the game, exiting the game. Everyone was still buzzing with excitement after Hyok's epic takedown of the hugger user military school girl donated 1,001. What the heck did I just witness? This is truly a legendary comedy. Other players couldn't believe their eyes at Hyok's incredible performance. No way taking down a hugger that easily. Back Cork, the horror game streamer, said even in realistic mode, 2 huggers were already pushing his limits. You sit in front of the screen utterly amazed by his innate fighting skills, and he took down 4 with just a hand axe. Wait, what was this guy's name again? As for Hyok and Jian, after she made a pretty big mistake, they both reloaded the game and logged in again. Seeing his face tense like a drawn bow, Jian quickly tried to soothe him. I'm really sorry, it was just a mistake. The viewers couldn't help but laugh at this chaotic duo. A total disaster that had everyone in stitches. Just look at his face. He's furious. But he didn't blame her at all. Instead, he took the blame. It's okay, Jian, that was my fault. Who would have guessed that the next moment Hyok would turn the tables, pointing at her forehead with a look that could eat Jian alive? I shouldn't have given a gun to an idiot like you. I said, I'm sorry, next time I'll do better. There's no next time for you, just follow my lead this time. We're going to move fast. Hearing that, Jian pouted and reluctantly followed. Let's see what you can do without me. But while she still didn't understand what was going on, Hyok swung his axe and sent the huggers packing in an instant. Seeing Hyok carrying the team like that, The viewers couldn't help but judge Jai, and she wasn't even moving, and everything was happening faster. She's really useless as a warrior in another world. Taking out these weaklings was as easy as pie. See, he can handle the fight all by himself. To keep everything organized and running as smoothly as possible, he suggested, let's assign roles for the next part. Jian looked back at him with a confused expression. Roles. Although he said to assign roles, Hyok took on all the hardest parts he would handle: the guns, close combat, item collection, and scouting. What about you? Because this game required some serious skills, but he saw Jian struggling, so he gave her a supporting role. Just stay quiet and cheer, okay? Faced with such an unfair division, Jian immediately shouted for fairness. Damn it, but this is my game. How can I just cheer? Everyone else agreed with him. This support role was confirmed. Look at him, ignoring her being forced onto the bus. Hyok wasted no time and opened the door to the next room. Hyok, wait for me. All right, get ready, it's showtime. Inside that dark and eerie space, a huge muscular monster was waiting for them, the Brute, the boss of the duo. Jian was indeed no different from a weak female lead, relying entirely on the male lead. Seeing it charge at them, she immediately pushed him forward. It's coming. Jian's push caught Hyok off guard, making him miss a beat as the Brute charged at him with lightning speed. You idiot, I'm sorry. Another friendly fire moment, I can barely breathe. But just a moment later, he quickly regained his focus and ducked to avoid its high attack. Now it was Hyok's time to shine and showcase his supreme power. Even though he was physically outmatched, he still managed to deliver a powerful kick to the Brute. Take that. It seemed that the big guy was no match for Hyok. After slamming its face into the ground, Hyok immediately climbed onto its back with his axe. Wanting a quick victory, he raised the axe high, ready to bring it down on the Brute. Compared to the era he survived in, a monster like this was nothing. And in an instant, Hyok's axe came crashing down on its rock-hard body, once again leaving everyone in awe of his incredible abilities. And so the Brute was utterly defeated by Hyok. Why was he treating the Brute like a piece of chewing gum? But the Brute's legs were thick. He couldn't pierce through its muscles with just a hand axe, which is why newbies often had no choice but to run away. Even though things seemed a bit unstable at the moment, Hyok didn't give up and was determined to make it work if it didn't work. He stepped hard on the axe, not knowing what he was planning. To make it effective, Hyok realized he couldn't hurt it with his hands, so he switched to using his foot to kick the axe like a soccer ball, piercing through the Brute's neck. In the next moment, Brute was truly defeated by the overwhelming power of Hyok, a rookie who took down Brute. The user Lipshu donated 1,001. Did he really manage to kill it? Did I just see that right? Even Jian is standing there frozen in shock at Hyok's flawless performance. I don't even know anymore. It's the first time I've seen someone kill Brute with a handheld axe. Brute isn't something you can just kill. Usually only seasoned players can take it down after unleashing all their firepower and crying blood in a desperate battle. Why is it so easy? Hearing Hyok say something so shocking raised a question among the viewers. You're not a newbie, are you? If you're that confident, why not show us your status window? Upon hearing this, Jian quickly denied it, saying, no, he is a newbie. Both of them had no choice but to agree to their request. All right, open your status window. Here, take a look. However, the results that appeared before them left everyone utterly shocked. Wait, he hasn't even played for a full day yet. Forget about that, look at this. What do you mean the status is 134? When players start, even professional gamers usually hover around 125. 140 is considered the human limit. What's the world record? 147, right? Upon hearing this, Hyok was stunned for 5 seconds. But it didn't stop there. The following stats truly blew their minds. Oh my God, everyone look at the detailed stats. Holy crap, no fluctuations at all. Are you a robot? At this moment, he realized that all the efforts he had put in before were indeed not wasted. All those training sessions preparing for the apocalypse finally paid off. Jian, standing beside him, couldn't help but shed tears seeing how hard Hyok had to struggle. How much had they pushed him in that multi-layered system? How could a body reach this level? Are you eating well there? Seeing her suddenly burst into tears and bury her face in him, Hyok couldn't help but panic. What's wrong? She sniffled and said, I swear I'll treat you better from now on. Suddenly a notification popped up. Black Orsi donated 10,001, the first to unlock the hidden route in the double elimination. When Jian realized the identity of the donor, he was a bit incredulous. Wait, Black Auric, is it really you? This concept still seemed new to Hyok. Hidden route, usually Brute, is designed to catch players and push the storyline forward. But Black Orc was the first to kill one and unlock the hidden route, even though it took him 7 tries with every available weapon. It was truly brutal to watch. Then he had a thought, 7 tries, not everyone is good at games. I mean, if someone isn't good at games, that could happen, right? Black Orc is officially the bad guy in the game now. Only that little axe kid would say something like that. Upon hearing this, Black Orc froze in shock. Not good at games, huh? Anyway, a person who has never played this game or even tried virtual reality beats a brute with just an axe. I just intended to watch a bit and log out, but maybe I should turn this into content. Black Orc donated 10,001. If it's not too much trouble, can I give you a mission? Just trying to have a bit of fun while streaming. Upon hearing his proposal, Jian was curious. A mission? What kind of mission? In light of their hesitation, Black Orc boldly requested a mission worth 1,000,000 won. Faced with the generosity of this tyrannical CEO, they didn't hesitate to accept the mission, complete the game using only the handheld axe without any other weapons. Time left 47 minutes and 50 seconds. Instead, I'll stream it legally. Jian read it and jumped for joy seeing money flying everywhere. 1,000,000 won, but completing it with just a handheld axe. Forget about Brute. What about the boss? Don't you think that's a bit excessive? In Eat Seal, there are not just humanoid monsters, but all kinds of other monsters too. Defeating them all with just that little axe is like saying, don't even bother trying to clear the game. After hearing the community's suggestions, Black Orc reconsidered. Maybe the handheld axe is a bit too much. How about a crowbar or a chainsaw instead? Mission successful. Black Orc donated 1,000,000 won. It's true that accidentally pressing the wrong button is a timeless issue for Hyok. He reported to the team again, I messed up, what am I doing? I meant to hit the accept mission button for the handheld axe, but I accidentally hit the success button instead. Well, since I've already jumped in, I have to follow through. In the next moment, Hyok grabbed Jian and dashed forward at lightning speed. Now that things have come to this, he would complete the mission at all costs. Stop this sudden madness right now. Grande, the second boss monster, tore through players at a terrifying speed, and now they faced a completely new calamity, a massive muscular giant wielding a chainsaw. Black Orc was extremely cautious upon the appearance of this monster. Just brushing against its chainsaw arm could bring players to the brink of death. It dealt incredibly high damage, and its attacks were extremely complex. Normally, the suppressive fire from another player would stun it and draw its hostility, while the rest of the team would target its weak points. This cycle of attack and redirecting hostility is the official strategy to deal with a Grande, which is why at least a 2-person team is necessary. Black Orc donated 10,001, but what's up with this crazy playstyle? Contrary to what you said, Hyok charged forward solo against a Grande. He's always hot-headed. Whenever he sees an enemy, he charges in, and Hyok is no exception. As for him, he didn't care much about strategy and just rushed in to let a Grande take a beating. What's a fixed strategy anyway? Back when we played, if we didn't have weapons, we just bit and fought. If there's no way, then we have to find one no matter what, and among all those hunters, I'm the best at taking down monsters. A so-called official strategy based on just 5 years of virtual reality history compared to my great monster hunting tactics honed over 20 years of human warfare. Hyok's real combat experience gave him the confidence to take him down without any complicated tricks. It was like a child's manual. The enemy's attack was quick. With his lightning-fast movements, a Grande was already hit across the thigh by Hyok's axe blood spraying everywhere in the air, just needed to disrupt their movement source. Hyok was amazing, incredibly smart to throw him off balance and then take a Grande to the altar to admire the naked chicken. Once you strip away the enemy's balance and speed, it's a finishing blow. The monster's weak point is its neck, and Hyok's next target was none other than its vital spot. Just one slash there would be enough to make a Grande fall before him. After identifying the target, Hyok quickly charged forward, determined to act swiftly without missing a moment. However, Hyok's axe was blocked by a Grande's hand as it flew forward. Even he was surprised by this move, but he tried to stay as calm as possible. What the axe got blocked. Even the spectators were quite surprised that Hyok's attack didn't go smoothly. Immediately, he seized the moment while Hyok was off beat and brought the chainsaw towards him, preparing to counterattack. Seeing Hyok standing on the edge of danger, Jian couldn't help but shout in worry, "Hey!" But a Grande was no match for Hyok. No matter how fast his attack was, Hyok dodged it as easily as pie crazy enough to evade the monster's attack. The next moment, he made a spectacular landing that made the surrounding space seem like it was about to shatter, colliding with the blade, but it couldn't penetrate the monster's defenses, rendering it useless. Because Grande had a very special defensive mechanism, it posed quite a challenge for its opponents. Its defense spiked whenever it sensed danger. The battle seemed to reach a climax as Hyok gritted his teeth in tension. If the enemy reinforced their defense, a stronger attack could break through. With a focused strike in an instant, he dashed forward at lightning speed, leaving electric sparks on the ground, showing just how determined he was for this fight. The chainsaw in Grande's hand slammed down onto the ground so hard that the blade was no longer intact, but deformed. With a decisive strike taking advantage of Grande's distraction, Hyok gripped the axe tightly and glided past him, turning him into a coconut skull in just a few short seconds. Although he successfully overcame this tough challenge, Hyok's momentum was so great that he crashed straight into the wall. Hyok truly was blessed crashing into the wall so hard, yet his face remained handsome, not distorted at all. That move was quite tricky. After witnessing his impressive performance, Jian joyfully rushed over to hug Hyok. "Our brother did it. We won. What the heck took him down with just one move and still called it tricky?" Do Hyok Chu donated 10,000,001. "How did you manage that?" In response to the sponsor's question, he humbly replied, "That guy earlier, it's simpler than you think." Hyok didn't hide his skills and directly revealed his secret, explaining how he analyzed the anchor leg and muscle movements, targeting the stable leg during the attack to neutralize his speed. And before striking, if you read the shoulder muscle movements combined with the tension in the arm muscles, you could predict the timing and direction of the attack. Seeing that just talking was a bit dry, he demonstrated a few moves to make it lively, then just dodge like I did earlier and then deliver a strong blow to Grande. After everyone listened carefully, not missing a single word, they still weren't sure if they could do what he did. It's crazy to see those moves. Teacher Hyok, only SM Nim could pull that off. If you can do it, you must be able to dodge bullets too. Surprised, old man, I thought you were just joking, but Hyok really left everyone in awe again. That's even simpler. Bullets fly in a straight line so you can observe the gun's direction or block them with an axe if needed. It feels so real, doesn't it? No matter how much you explain, only you can do it. Meanwhile, Jian had already scouted around and called out to him, "Hey, there's a way down here." Hyok quickly turned around. "Really, wait a second. Is it finally time to use the charge? That's right, defeating the egg monster will get us a submachine gun and a hand axe, right?" Both of them looked incredibly eager for this new mission. "After all, there's no time to waste, so I'll explain while we go. Just wait, there's another axe here." When Hyok reunited with his familiar weapon, he felt nostalgic and told her, "This axe I used to take down countless monsters with it." However, Jian pointed ahead with a pale face. "Hey, behind you?" The once quiet space was completely shattered by the sudden and overwhelming appearance of the enhanced zombies. "They're here, a horde of enhanced zombies is advancing." But to be more precise, those enhanced zombies were surrounded by Hyok, who with his indomitable strength swung his axe forward immediately. Standing out among the horde of zombies were his swift, precise movements with no wasted actions. In an instant, Hyok swiftly claimed the head of one. And of course, not wanting to disappoint everyone, Hyok quickly sent a few more down to meet their maker. What are those crazy zombies made of tofu or something? Every swing cuts them down, Teacher Hyok. To be honest, these little shrimp aren't really a match for Hyok. They're just there for him to demonstrate. It's not as hard as you think. I already showed you before, right? Just dodge like this and put all your strength into attacking their weak points. Indeed, Hyok was tearing them apart as easily as pulling weeds. Every move he made was decisive, yet gentle, right into the neck like this. See, toss it and chop grab that kill Bob Ross style, Professor Hyok. But seriously, what's with the difficulty level? Usually there are only about 10 of them. But why are there so many this time? Even Teacher Hyok is struggling. The viewers watching the whole scene unfold were also puzzled. However, with his abundant strength, Hyok didn't care about their numbers and focused on clearing the map. Well, then I should put in a bit more effort, right? Saying it and doing it, he stopped being a relaxed guy and immediately transformed into a killing machine, continuously swinging strikes forward. If he approached each zombie one by one, it would take forever to clear them out, so Hyok cleverly changed his strategy, turning himself into a whirlwind, unleashing a flurry of slashes at them. Isn't that a storm? Let's whirlstorm. And indeed, his method brought them a resounding success. The front line was cleared. Kneel before the master Hyok. Aren't you dizzy from the whirlwind? I mean, stop joking around in this action game. Go play Rise of Valhalla instead. While his head was spinning in confusion, he asked back, Is that a different game? Meanwhile, Jian held up something mysterious and said, "Hey, look at this. I just found a clue about the serum for this monster disaster." A clue. In response to Hyok's skepticism, she pointed to a blood-stained notebook, which was hard to see because it was so messy, but in this notebook, it stated that the cause of all mutations from neck huggers to the zombies was a mutated strain. Do you remember the trailer near the house before we got here? They said the serum to cure this strain is there. We just need to collect it and spread it through the mansion's sprinkler system. Once the monsters come into contact with the serum, they will weaken simultaneously. The viewers at this moment also chimed in. That's right. If we don't have the serum, the difficulty will spike for the next boss. Without it, everything will become really tough. Hearing this, Hyok didn't hesitate to try. Really, it doesn't look that hard. Maybe I should give it a shot. Look at that confident face, but if it's him, it might actually be true. However, even before he could lift a finger, Jian started overthinking, wait, what if we fail? It's a hassle to get there anyway. But the very next moment, just a few lines of text changed their minds. Black Orc had requested a mission worth 100,001. Interesting defeat the next boss without using the serum. Time left 47 minutes and 59 seconds. That money-laden challenge boosted their spirits to new heights. If that's Black Orc's wish, he's truly educated. Here we go again, my capitalist slave, serious when money's involved. And the next stage officially opened to welcome them. The floor cracked. It seems we have to go down there. They didn't waste any more time and quickly stepped in. Let's go jump on my back. Soon they fell into a completely different room and landed in a place full of muddy ground. It seems this isn't a pleasant place to fight. We've reached the sewer maze. Although the stench here made Jian extremely uncomfortable, it reminded Hyok of old times. What is that smell? This takes me back to when I almost lived in the sewers to escape the foreign monsters. The two of them were indeed complete opposites. One was faint-hearted while the other was hyperactive. Look, there's a rat sewer. Rats make a delicious soup. The broth is simply exquisite. However, those tiny little mice were just the welcome committee. Now the real host of the party was slowly making its entrance, a giant mouse. But in the face of a swarm of mice, the first thing that Hyok thought about wasn't fighting, but rather what to cook for dinner tonight, giant mouse meat. With his bottomless stomach that could devour the whole world, Hyok immediately started slicing the mice for cooking, grabbing the best leg of the mouse. Enjoy your meal, Jian couldn't help but look at him with wide eyes and an open mouth, thinking, what the heck? Why are you eating that, you crazy person? Our ancestors used to say that the heavens spare a meal, but just as Hyok was about to scoop up the mouse leg, something knocked the piece of meat out of his hands. Indeed, it was the most shocking plot twist in history. The swarm of mice wasn't the end of the battle, as now there were uninvited guests, showing up Chaos, a final boss monster with tentacle arms and a powerful regeneration ability. What the heck? It's not even the boss room yet, and it's already here. Who set the difficulty level to be broken? Is this a glitchy game or what? Even Jian was shocked, frozen for 5 seconds, thinking, why are there two of them run? But Hyok, what are you doing in the middle of this chaos? While his 80-second disaster was about to hit, he was crying over the piece of mouse meat, my meat. I've been looking forward to eating junk food just once in my life. You bastards! How dare you steal my mouse meat? This is unforgivable. Are you seriously losing your mind just because you can't eat a piece of mouse meat? Were you once a member of the Silmito Special Forces or something? Maybe Teacher Hyok really is like that. Jian was extremely dissatisfied with the absurdity of the game system. It was outrageous how one bizarre thing after another kept happening to them. At this point, Black Orc, sitting by the screen, had figured out what was going on. In realistic mode, the initial difficulty was based on player stats, and Hyok's stats had far exceeded the ranking limit of its kill. Black Dak had donated 10001. It seemed that was why these things kept happening. While he was still fiddling with the mouse meat, Chaos dealt him a painful blow. Although everyone knew Hyok was very strong, the players still felt frustrated for him. Throwing 2 chaos monsters at him was a bit too much, wasn't it? He didn't want everyone to worry about him, so he spoke up to reassure them. I'm fine. After a struggle to dodge the attacks, Hyok finally regained his footing and ran quickly forward to counterattack. Now the fight was getting interesting. Hyok's mindset was crazy, but it was still too early to let his guard down. Despite Hyok's efforts to destroy Chaos's arms, its tentacles kept growing back. Chaos had a terrifying regeneration ability, so the damage healed instantly. After they had cleaned themselves up, they charged forward to confront him. And as soon as it was attacked, it reacted immediately, starting to attack with poisonous gas, a disgusting green mist that they blew toward Hyok. Jian immediately covered his nose with his hand and announced, "We've been poisoned. We only have 10 minutes left." Facing Chaos, a monster with insane regeneration abilities while also being poisoned, was truly a horrifying sight. That's why fighting Chaos was hellish difficulty. No matter how many superpowers they had, Hyok still confidently believed he could handle them. If it kept regenerating, then we just need to smash it to pieces. He was determined not to give up halfway and would fight to the end against Chaos. Until it could no longer regenerate in the blink of an eye, Hyok sent another head and leg of it to the afterlife. Although his hands were now covered in blood, the head of the chaos he had just collected was still growing back, and not only that, but its arms also began to recover. The blood vessels kept stretching out gradually, allowing them to regenerate once again. Chaos was indeed as resilient as a leech. No matter what they did, it would revive as if nothing had happened. I cut its throat, but it still came back. Chaos had infinite regeneration unless you destroyed its heart. While Hyok was feeling 3 parts helpless and 7 parts like a mess, he suddenly got a tip on what to do. At this point, Hyok almost realized what he needed to do. The heart is at its core. Without hesitation, as Chaos charged at him, he jumped into the air and slashed at its heart. Not stopping there, Hyok also delivered a powerful punch to Chaos's face. Chaos seemed to realize that he had grasped its weakness, so it raised a hand to block his deadly strikes. However, even with that, it was still pinned down by Hyok, who slashed a deep wound right across its chest. It seemed its end had truly come. Not wanting to miss this golden opportunity, he jumped onto Chaos, thinking if the heart was its weakness, then I would personally rip it out and crush it. Indeed, facing such a monster, Hyok showed no mercy and thrust his hand in to pull out its heart. But brothers stand by each other in life and death. At that moment, the remaining Chaos charged forward to save its buddy. The spikes of the remaining Chaos were now covered in blood. Could it be that Hyok had been defeated right here? Jian and the others were also in a panic, shouting, "Hey, what is that? What am I witnessing here?" But it wasn't that easy. He managed to dodge just in time, letting the remaining Chaos stab its own hand into the wound made by the first Chaos. He had lured its attack to destroy the heart of the other one. Was this his plan all along? When Chaos opened its mouth wide to scream after realizing it had just alerted its teammate, it was already too late. With his brain full of wrinkles and an IQ of 3,000, Hyok had hit 2 targets with 1 stone, taking this opportunity to send the remaining Chaos to meet its maker. And of course, he couldn't forget its weakness, delivering a sweet slash like cutting fruit into its chest. Its whole body was now being torn apart under his hands and blood splattered into the air. Look at Hyok, isn't he amazing? He single-handedly took down both Chaos, now standing proudly on their bodies. "This is insane. How could this even happen, Mom? When I grow up, I want to be a dual-wielding warrior. This is crazy. Shout it out, Hyok." The Chaos mission was accomplished, and Jian looked as happy as if he had won the lottery, his eyes shining like car headlights. After witnessing such a legendary battle, doesn't anyone feel like giving a little back? Here it is, the donation announcement. The donation mode has been activated. A user donated 10,001. Wow, how did you do that, teacher? A user named McLaren donated $100. Are you serious? Ji-an, overwhelmed by everyone's generosity, chirped his thanks. "I'll use this donation to buy meat to eat with my brother. Is all this money really mine? How much have we made today?" After completing the mission at this level, she turned to Hyok and asked, "So what do you want to do now? Keep playing?" Indeed, human strength has its limits. He declined to continue, saying, "We've been playing for 8 hours today. Let's stop here." The viewers seemed to disagree. "Only 8 hours, we should at least go for 18. Are you really going to leave us? That's so cruel." Despite the crowd's insistence, Hyok remained firm about taking a break. "I'm starting to lose focus, and maybe it's because this is my first time in virtual reality, but I'm feeling a bit dizzy." "Well, we'll just have to deal with it. Next time we'll play longer." Everyone seemed to relent, and Hyok, along with Jian, waved goodbye to everyone. "All right, I get it. I'll come back to finish up next time. Okay, then goodbye. Let's go in. Wait, why are they leaving when we told them to stay seriously? We just witnessed history being made." "Right? Did we just witness the beginning of a legend? We should just admit it. They're truly insane. Black Orc must be tipping his hat in admiration of his talent. Seriously, who is this person?" He couldn't help but ponder a bit. If the skills in Kills It were this insane, then what about in other games? If that person played other games, it would definitely become a blockbuster. No doubt it would be an absolute hit. Black Orc immediately stood up, clenching his fists in determination. "We can't hesitate any longer. They're pulling it towards them." That very evening, after 8 hours of intense gameplay, Jian was still buzzing with excitement from Hyok's performance. "That was amazing. How did you do that?" She picked up a frying pan, waving it around to reenact the scene, making him look as pale as a banana leaf, like someone who had wielded dual axes their whole life. "Just like this, like this." Seeing the pan about to hit his face, Hyok hurriedly reminded her, "Hey, stop, don't hit me now. No wonder you don't have a boyfriend." But who would have thought that his words would awaken the lioness within Jian? "What, I have plenty of connections. I'm kinda hot, you know." All right, next up is another lifelong single person, but let's not count imaginary relationships. After chatting about all sorts of things, Jian finally got serious and said, "Come on, how could you do something like that? You look like a crazy person on steroids." In response to her curiosity, he gently replied, "I just did it and it worked." However, she didn't see it that way. He was just a lucky guy with natural talent. Suddenly, Jian remembered something. He had always been incredibly strong since he was a kid if it weren't for that fortune teller's prediction. Who would have thought that in this world, Hyok was also predicted to become a savior for humanity, a boy blessed with the looks of someone destined to save the world. And indeed, when his parents heard about it, they had no doubts whatsoever. This child. So despite the desperate pleas from his gym teacher, Hyok's parents began to treat him like he was some kind of extraordinary genius. "Come on, Hyok's brain is just for decoration. He was born to—" "Shut up. Are you trying to ruin his future as the Secretary General of the United Nations?" If they had listened to that teacher, he could have won 1 or 2 Olympic medals by now. His parents regretted it every day. What? Why? Putting all past regrets aside, Jian asked about Hyok's current plans. "Anyway, you've started, so why not try streaming for real?" Hearing that, Hyok was a bit surprised and pointed to himself. "Me streaming." Jian could also see the enthusiastic support from the viewers for Hyok, so she suggested, "You saw the audience's reaction today, right? If you keep playing like this without saying anything, you'll still gain huge popularity." Encouraged by Jian's words, he thought carefully. "It's been a long time since... Before I went back to the past, I fought for my life for over 10 years. If I didn't kill those aliens in front of me, I would have been the one to die. And after all that, now all I know is working and carrying burdens at construction sites. My life is so boring that I could die from monotony." It had been a while since Hyok felt any joy creeping back into his life. The battles in that virtual reality game were the most exciting thing he had experienced in a long time. But it wasn't that he missed those days. The next moment, Hyok clenched his fists as if he was about to make a decision. "Anyway, I'm really happy." Seeing this, Jian's eyes lit up brighter than a star. "So that means you're doing it right. However, Hyok still had a bit of hesitation. "I still have debts to pay, so let me think a little longer." Hearing that lame excuse, Jian couldn't help but point out the issue. "Oh my gosh, you're so silly. That's exactly why you should stream more. With the mission rewards that Black Orc set for the last round, you've already earned over 3 million won today." Surprised old man. After hearing that he had earned a whopping 6 zeros, Hyok was completely shocked. 3 million in just one day, I could pay off all my debts. Realizing that this job could bring in money easily, Hyok did a complete 180 and agreed to be her assistant. "Okay, let's do it. But do you have enough money to buy the capsule? I'm counting on my sister's amazing credit card." Hearing that Jian was also very excited and said something that sounded very rich. "Great. You know what? I just bought a new capsule for you." At that moment, both of them were as happy as if they had won the lottery, eagerly looking forward to the future. "You're amazing, Jian, perfect and brilliant. Keep it up." Meanwhile, someone sent a message to Jian's phone. "Huh, a message?" But upon realizing the sender's identity, she couldn't help but freeze. "Look at this. The virtual reality capsules are sold out." She then pointed at her phone. "Isn't this a direct message from BlackRock? You're the first one to discover the hidden path in It Kills 2. Right?" "That's right. That super famous gamer wants to collaborate with you. Isn't that insane?" When Hyok saw that someone so influential wanted to work with him, he was completely stunned. Collaborate. Contrary to what everyone expected, Hyok refused. "Are you crazy? No way?" Seeing him about to pass up a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Jian was furious. "What? Why not? Do you even know how famous he is? Just one collaboration with him will explode your viewer count." Who would have guessed that Hyok was an overthinker at the end of the line? It seemed that the recent battle had made him delusional. "Shut up. You want me to collaborate with a guy just because I have a capsule. I respect his gender identity, but I like women. You're so obsessed that you want to steal my innocence. Faced with Hyok's reaction, Ji-an looked like she was ready to devour him. Should I kill him? The next day, everything went as planned. The capsule setup was complete. Yes, thank you, goodbye. Indeed, it was no surprise that Hyok had truly gone off the rails due to his delusions. That kid should explain clearly. I thought collaboration meant... Even though this sounds like a crazy story from Canada, Hyok has now gone from being a savior angel to a real game streamer. Anyway, I've decided to play now, so let's really get started. He climbed in to try it out a premium capsule bought with Ji-an's card on a 2-month installment plan because she said it was essential for future streams. In the end, I added some convenient features, pushing the price up to 20 million won. Since we were kids, we've argued, but she has such a warm heart. And don't worry, I'll make a lot of money from this and pay off all the debts and buy you lots of gifts. No time to waste. Hyok quickly powered up the machine and started searching for games. Let's see, this time I should try playing in game mode instead of reality mode. If I choose a game with superhuman specs, I can satisfy the craving that Kills It 2 couldn't fulfill. After browsing through the options, Hyok finally settled on one. All right, this one looks good. Anything decent starts at 200 bucks. Since I'm low on cash, I'll just pick the cheapest one. What is this? Looking closely at the flashy interface of the game before me, I felt a rush of excitement as memories flooded back. Is this the fighting game I played as a kid? No way, Ultimate Fighter FD, the full dive version of it. Since it's a childhood game, Hyok didn't hesitate to choose it right away. The nostalgic fighting game Ultifight, and it's only 20 bucks. I have to buy it now. No questions asked. Immediately, I entered another space and logged into the game. Purchasing Ultimate Fighter FD was complete connecting to the game lobby. Please choose a nickname. After thinking for a while, Hyok decided to take back his old nickname. If my old nickname Ultifighter is still linked, I'll use Dark Shadow, so I've set my nickname as Dark Shadow. After choosing the nickname, Hyok casually showcased his innate strength, then checked my status. With a powerful strike, Hyok punched down with such force that the ground cracked into pieces. Not stopping there with his lightning speed, he moved back and forth, throwing punches into the air as fast as a clone, delivering a flurry of hits. After a light warm-up, he finished with a powerful final blow. Wolfang Hyok bent low and then launched forward with something so fast that all you could see was a streak of light zipping through the air. After executing a few basic moves of a fighting master, Hyok assessed his abilities here, and this is my maximum capability in game mode. Not enough to call myself superhuman like before, but I can say I've definitely surpassed the limits of an ordinary person. Surely this is the limit that an ordinary human can endure, right? If I go any faster, normal perception wouldn't be able to keep up. After preparing my mind and getting ready, Hyok began his journey. All right, now that I'm warmed up, it's time to fight for real, searching for a ranked match. However, the next notifications reminded him that Dark Shadow wasn't high enough level to participate in ranked matches. Oh, right, I forgot that rule. Looks like there's no other choice, so I'll look for an open room. Searching for an open room in Ultimate Fighter FD while waiting should I choose a character to play. Meanwhile, a female player was sweeping the map with her graceful sword moves like a dance. Come on, Sword Princess. She's small but fierce. Even though she's a girl, she can take down those big guys in an instant. Another win today. Harang wins, the female swordsman. Harang, a streamer with a stable fan base of about 2,000 average viewers, has been streaming for a year and received a mission reward of 50,001. All the missions today are extremely generous. But who is this woman? How is she so good at Ultimate Fighter? User Sword Princess Fanboy donated 10001. Are you a newbie at Ultifight? How come you don't know the Sword Princess? The legendary identity of Harang began to be revealed. Ultimate Fighter was once a famous game, even having a championship. Back then, the female swordsman was one of the top players in Ultifight with the nickname Sword Princess. In a fighting game world dominated by men, fanboys, stop it. I haven't played Ultifight professionally in ages, so of course I wouldn't know. Moreover, when it comes to this fighting game, people think of Iron Fist, not Ultifight. Everyone agreed with her at that moment. Exactly, and that's why Ultifight players have switched to other games. Even though there aren't many players left in this game, Harang remains loyal to it. After all, I've logged into Ultifight, so let's find the next match. Come search for a room with players at my level. After receiving her command, Com started working, searching for a suitable ranked room. A match has been found with an estimated wait time of 9 minutes. Upon hearing the wait time, Harang couldn't help but spray her hairspray in disbelief. What, 9 minutes? That's way too long. What about the next match? The estimated wait time is 12 minutes. Seeing that everything requires waiting for what feels like an eternity, Harang felt helpless. This will disrupt the streaming. User Spider-Girl donated 1,001. So why not take on a public match mission for some nostalgia? After hearing that suggestion, she thought it wasn't a bad idea. It made sense since the wait time is so long. User Spider-Girl sent a mission for 100,001 win 5 consecutive public matches with a time limit of 11 hours and 59 minutes. However, she was quite wary of this tough mission. Sorry, winning 5 matches in a row is too hard. Can you ease up a bit? That's right. Ever since Ultifight lost its popularity, only veteran gamers remain. The public rooms have become battlefields filled with experienced players. Isn't this where high-level players enjoy taking out newbies? That's why public matches have become a playground for seasoned hunters. Even Princess Sword was annihilated by a master last time. But that's beta go for you. Keep talking nonsense. Seeing everyone teasing her like that, Harang couldn't hold back and argued back. It's because I can't use my main character, but Batego used his main character. All right, it's time to use my Smurf account now, Explorer Yater. Then a matrix of light appeared beneath Harang's feet and transported her to a new world. Harang decided to show everyone that she's different now. This time with my Smurf account, I will show everyone what real newbie slaughter looks like. CPM created a public room titled IVI Showdown Ultifight Only for Real Newbies. Then Com followed her instructions and began creating the room. The veteran monsters are gathering. Is this the beginning of a newbie slaughter? This map is Ultifight Classic Volcano Arena. The players are standing on a rock surrounded by lava. So who is my opponent? It's the Dark Warrior Hoken, a man with fiery hands and black flames. Judging by his stance, he might be platinum rank. Facing this opponent, Harang had a high regard for him. Hoken is a character with easy-to-execute skills and some cheap yet effective moves. Controlling him isn't hard, and this character is very strong, always ranking in the top 3 most popular characters in Ultifight. After a while of waiting, the match officially kicked off with Hoken charging forward. With his hot-headed nature, he didn't hesitate to throw a deadly punch at Harang, characterized by the fierce attack of a fighter. Black Flame Strike. Indeed, Hoken is a formidable opponent. Just one powerful punch from him could shake the heavens and the earth. However, Harang managed to jump high to dodge the attack. With her ample experience, she didn't rush to approach him. At close range, fighters have the advantage, which is the basic strategy for a mage when fighting a fighter. First, keep your distance, then use long-range attacks. Just as the battle began, it escalated to its peak. Hoken couldn't predict what moves Harang would make next. And while he was still trying to comprehend what was happening, a blinding light appeared. Stepping forward with her staff, she wasted no time and officially unleashed her spell towards Hoken. Attack indeed, he couldn't react in time and was hit directly in the face by her staff. Hoken's nose began to bleed. What the hell is this? Is this magic? It was just throwing a staff? Taking advantage of Hoken being momentarily stunned, she dashed towards him at lightning speed and grabbed his muscular arm. It's true that Harang is at a physical disadvantage compared to Hoken, but in terms of battle strategy, she's not inferior to anyone. This is the ultimate technique of all types of magic. Physical healing magic. After a moment of build-up, she immediately slammed him to the ground. Here it is, the grapple move. She even mimicked Hoken's exact movements. After showing him what a festival is like, she held her staff in hand. In fact, physical healing magic is just a setup for the real spell taking a bit of time to activate. Almost there. The ultimate spell of Mage Yetter Meteor Summon. At this moment, everyone was eagerly watching for her trump card. A bright red energy sphere appeared, causing everyone to gasp in awe. This is too much. Hoken no longer looked fierce. Instead, he was on the verge of tears, about to cry like a 3-year-old because he was scared. This is too much. Hyok doesn't have that fierce look anymore. He's about to burst into tears like a 3-year-old because he's so nervous. It's totally over the top, but not at all. Every day brings a fresh experience, and now a victorious smile blooms on her face. Goodbye, Platinum Rank, and in the next game, I hope you'll be reborn as a master. I really hate those veteran ulti-fighters. I hope this game dies soon. The flames have completely surrounded Hoken, leaving him drowning in fire and full of resentment. Crushing those rookie Platinum players never gets old. Thanks a lot, dear Hoken, for your generous praises. The Holy Sword Maiden has triumphed exceeding all expectations, and the one claiming victory this time is none other than Harang. As the arena is being restored, she feels quite relieved for having passed the first hurdle. Luckily, this opponent isn't too tough. It's the easiest mission she's ever had, way too easy. However, there are still 4 more matches waiting for Harang ahead. Anyway, let's keep going and complete the 5-win streak, summon the next opponent. Summoning the next opponent after easily taking down the first one, Harang's next challenger starts to reveal themselves. Meta Steve isn't that a character meant for newbies. This match seems tough for Harang because her opponent this time is Hyok. Their information has been set to private right. Seems like there's nothing about their character history. Huh? What's he doing? No way is he warming up. His jumping around is surprising both Harang and everyone else. Look, he's even tapping the arena floor crazy. What's wrong with this guy? His movements look like a newbie's. At this moment, she isn't in a hurry to attack, but just stands there watching what Hyok is up to. Are you really going to fight him? Protect the newbie, don't bully him anymore. With Hyok's silly antics, Harang doesn't know what to do. This is too much. Are we really going to fight a newbie? This is ridiculous. Suddenly, a sly smile appears on her face. I do want to protect the newbie, but I still have to complete my mission first. Still, I didn't expect a newbie to show up. Saying that she lowers her smile, she clearly stated it was only for real newbies in the lobby title. Yeah, that's your fault. After a while of waiting, she finally decides she's ready. Anyway, let's start the match, but be gentle, the newbie is about to cry. It's been a long time since I've seen a complete newbie. This newbie might just quit the game, but they don't know that this newbie can outplay everyone else. The newbie is down, and now there's only 1 second left before disaster strikes. He puts all his strength into his feet and leaps forward. Fight! As the match command appears, Hyok doesn't hesitate any longer and charges forward, throwing a punch at Harang. Here comes the classic newbie rush. But before his deadly blow, she easily dodges and taunts Hyok, thinking that would work on me. I could even dodge Hoken's charge, so a newbie's rush is nothing to me. However, since Harang's opponent is Hyok, things aren't that simple. After missing the first step, he quickly braces himself on the arena floor. Then he charges at Harang again with a powerful right punch, while Harang, having missed a beat in her attack, can't counter in time. And so it goes, laughing at the one who laughed yesterday. Just a second ago, she was taunting him, and now Harang has been hit by Hyok's devastating punch. Wait a minute. The first hit was just a warm-up. Now Hyok is about to show Harang what a real festival looks like. He relentlessly punches her in the face at lightning speed, making him look like a 1,000-armed monster wildly swinging forward. After taking a barrage of punches from him, Harang can no longer hold on and collapses to the floor before the match even reaches the 90-second mark. And obviously, Hyok is now the coolest person here, perfect. Everyone seeing him take down Harang in a flash as easy as pie can't help but be surprised. Perfect, a newbie just took down a veteran. He just said it didn't feel bad at all. What the hell did we just witness? That was a solid punch. The first round ended in just a few basic yet powerful moves, and the second round has begun, but it seems Harang still hasn't accepted Hyok. A perfect defeat, losing to another newbie. The biggest shame in Ulta Fight, losing so easily. Stand up straight, Sword Girl. Even though she got beaten badly, she still wants to try again. Wait, let's play another match. No, everyone, wait, this isn't right at all. You all know I only lost because I was careless, right? Not wanting to lose face in front of everyone, Harang has to say that. Comments quickly pop up afterward. Remember what she said when she defeated her previous opponent? The Sword Girl donated 1,001. That's right, I swear you said being careless was part of your skill level. But after experiencing Hyok's extraordinary physical strength firsthand, Harang quickly voices her opinion. No way, seriously, how can he be a newbie? He's clearly a smurf. You all thought he was a newbie too, right? Yeah, that makes sense. He plays so well. After a bitter defeat this time, Harang is determined to give it her all to get revenge. Anyway, this time I will be the one to win perfectly. Finally, I have my main character, the one that made her famous as the Princess of the Sword when she was a professional fighter. User Kingly Distancing donated 1,001, getting slapped perfectly and then immediately switching to Harang. Truly impressive, I have to say that. Impressive, or rather admirable. Seeing everyone mocking her makes her even angrier than ever. Just kidding, Harang is already fired up. The monster inside her has awakened and is breathing fire at those comments, firmly asserting that if I play seriously, I will definitely win. Everyone, I'm really angry now, so pray for his soul on my behalf. Once Harang decides, even Snow White won't be spared. Today right here, Harang is going all out against Hyok. Because from now on, I will give it my all. Her gaze is fierce, and Harang has already begun to prepare for an explosive attack. As she signals that she's ready to start, Harang also takes a few objective looks at him. Just a glance is enough to tell that he definitely hasn't reached the highest level of supremacy. At most, he's somewhere between Diamond Peak and Master level. The highest rank in Ultimate Fighter is Supremacy, and out of all the players, only 100, including myself, have ever reached that level. His fighting style isn't typical for Ultifight. Perhaps he's a master in another game trying his luck with Ultifight. After observing for a while, she finally realizes something very important. Harang's feet slam down hard on the battlefield as if she's about to make a move that will shake the heavens and the earth. Now let's show him what I've got. Fighting how to truly control it. With her hot-headed nature, Harang isn't fighting slowly like before. Instead, she darts through the air like a gust of wind. Although her speed is truly astonishing, it's nothing compared to Hyok. He can easily bend down to dodge her claw-like strikes. And of course, Hyok won't let himself be put on the defensive. He immediately raises his fist to counter her. After being beaten so badly last time that her soul almost flew to heaven, Harang is now well prepared for defense. This time I won't go down easily. But who would have thought that Harang's attack would be read by Hyok? Before she even realizes what's happening, he has tightly grasped her hand. And it seems nothing has changed. History repeats itself once again with Hyok raising his fist and Harang saying, "Wait a minute." Surprise, surprise. No matter how well prepared she is, he still punches her square in the face. If anyone didn't know better, they might think Hyok just finished playing a game, which is why he can punch Harang without missing a beat. Right now, she's nothing more than a punching bag for him. I'm dying here. Damn, this scene looks familiar. She's been knocked down again in another perfect match just like last time. Is this what they call professional now? It should be called Sword Brat instead of Sword Princess. It seems Harang is just a little too early to the party compared to Hyok. Even though she's been beaten up time and time again, Harang still harbors the desire for revenge against Hyok. And guess what? After 7,749 attempts to defeat Hyok, all Harang gets in return is a battered body. Steve wins. Take it easy on her. Right now, she's shaking like a leaf, and her face looks like someone else after those one-on-one solos with Hyok burning like a fire. And the absolute convincing winner is none other than Hyok with a clean sweep of 5 wins. The character using the staff in the early stages is too easy to deal with, but towards the end, she pulls out a sword and uses some strange skills, making it a bit tricky. I wanted to try using superpowers, so I logged into the special game mode, but out of habit, I skipped the tutorial, so I have no idea how to use them and can't do anything at all. Anyway, I chose this mode to reminisce about my old powers. Next time, I should definitely follow the tutorial first. However, during that time, Harang's reappearance also caught his attention. Although the earlier punches left people breathless, Hyok now shows friendliness and asks, "You're back. You did pretty well earlier. What's your rank?" But he couldn't hear a single word coming from her mouth. He just saw Harang smoking and pointing at his face. "What are you saying?" He hears her speaking, but it sounds like she's speaking an alien language. Hyok's expression is one of complete confusion. "What, I can't hear anything." Seeing that Harang's words aren't coming out audibly, Hyok tries to deduce, could it be that they turned on the mute function in the game to focus entirely on the game? If that's the case, then they won't hear a single word from me. After realizing that he has wasted so much breath without getting anywhere, Harang stops using verbal language and immediately switches to action by drawing her sword. But it doesn't stop there. The next moment, Hyok is bombarded with a multitude of requests for rematches and revenge that keep popping up, overwhelming him. But it doesn't stop there. The next moment, Hyok is bombarded with countless requests for a rematch, overwhelming him completely. But of course, Hyok couldn't just sit around all day either, so he had to decline everything. "What should I do now?" "Sorry, but I have to go." "Well then, have fun here." Not wanting to linger and sow more hatred for Harang, he quickly left. I should log out and find a way to activate my skills in the game. Even though Hyok was about to log out of the game, we still couldn't hear what Harang was trying to say. As Hyok left, he couldn't help but be curious about everyone's reactions. What were they yelling about this time? From their lip movements, they seemed to be asking for his username to be able to friend him and challenge him again. Finding this situation quite interesting, Hyok decided to stick around a little longer. Why not? Wait, maybe they still didn't hear my username like last time. The look on Harang's face was one of surprise and confusion. After waiting forever, Harang's voice finally came through. "Hey, you jerk, player 2 is logged out." Hyok logged out before Harang had a chance for revenge, so she decided to keep this in her heart and wait for a day not far off to ambush him. "I swear I'll find you." So who is this princess hunter? A former professional player? No one knows the identity of Hyok, who just pulled off a legendary move. Damn, who the hell is that? They dared to ignore me. Feeling like she was thrown a huge chunk of butter, she couldn't help but scream in frustration. Poop Chat Explanation donated 1,001. Wait, that Princess Hunter didn't ignore her. If that was a newly created account, the legendary chat would be turned off by default. Maybe they never turned it on from the start, which is why they didn't hear her. That makes sense. But even if they did hear anything, Harang would just brush it off like water off a duck's back. There's no way that could happen. Everyone can see that. The finals of Harang's signature skill, the Dance of Death. Yet the so-called newbie dodged all her moves and took her down just as she was attacking. And to think a newbie in Ultifight could pull that off in just one match. That guy must be a former master here to hunt me down, or maybe a top amateur from the golden age of Ultifight. Or even a professional player hiding their identity. But seriously, who is that Anatol? Perhaps Harang suddenly realized something. Anatol. That's a familiar name, but it's been long forgotten. And now it's being mentioned again like a legend, the ultimate fighter known as the greatest legend Anatol. No, it can't be him. Anatol's style was the epitome of perfection, but this guy had no pattern in his every move. Just seconds later, she dismissed that thought. Harang couldn't help but keep telling herself that this was not real, as if they had no patterns at all. No, this is impossible. If that's the case, then they must have read all my moves and reacted right in the middle of the fight. There's no way that could happen. It even surpasses the realm of a battle. No way a monster like that could actually exist. A few hours later, after he had performed well in his matches, he quickly returned to reality. In no time, Hyok had casually played about 14 matches. That was the 14th match, right? Let's check my ranking stats. The current match stats show 14 wins and no losses. After playing with a few people, he had a general assessment. Aside from the first player, the overall skill level seemed low. Even in ranked matches by now, every opponent fell into traps with just one or two basic feints exposing critical openings. But right now, I'm still only at diamond rank with 2 higher ranks above me. Once I reach the highest rank, there will definitely be more interesting opponents. After some reflection, he finally made a bold decision. But just to be safe, that first player seemed decent. I should send them a friend request. At this moment, Hyok felt a bit anxious. I wonder if they'll accept it. Jian has invited you to the game, It Kills 2. After seeing the notification, Hyok suddenly remembers, right, he had a live stream scheduled with Jian today. Without hesitation, fearing he might be late, he quickly hits the accept button. It's already 8 p.m. He has to go. The current viewer count has reached 173 thanks to Hyok's popularity. Why were you a minute late? Teacher Hyok is here. I hope his noble spirit shines bright. Everyone is eagerly awaiting Hyok's appearance. Hey everyone, it's great to see you again. Is that a murderer with an axe standing behind you? Welcome. Jian quickly takes this opportunity to flex in front of everyone. Look at him. He looks just like a killer. I mean, my dear Appa is the infamous axe murderer in It Kills 2. What does axe murderer mean? Jian quickly explains to his confusion. His last game of It Kills is trending on all gaming forums. So what's today's content? Everyone is getting their seats eager to see what's about to happen. What's going on? Is something big about to happen? Hyok quickly grabs his familiar axe and raises it high. Raise the axe. All right, let me introduce you to Teacher Hyok's ultimate technique. Running through It Kills the ultimate axe massacre. It seems they are now ready for an adventure that will leave the viewers breathless. Everyone is extremely excited at this moment. Let's have a bloody battle. This isn't a sad performance, it's a chaotic axe frenzy. Remember last time we stopped when hunting chaos? Of course, how could we forget? I can't wait to watch it live again. Finally, my friend gets to witness it firsthand. My wallet is buzzing with excitement. Jian then sets a specific goal. Today we will try to conquer It Kills 2, something we couldn't complete last time. After preparing their spirits, what are they waiting for? All right, let's get started. However, before they could do anything, Hyok suddenly becomes aggressive, raising the axe in front of Jian, startling her. What the hell is wrong with you? But that axe is obviously not aimed at Jian. It sweeps past her head. Behind Jian are various small monsters ready to attack them. One of them has already been sent to the afterlife by Hyok. These are blood-sucking beasts, a new calamity they must face in this level. What the hell are they doing here? 10 of them, no less. Although they are somewhat outnumbered, Hyok, with his extraordinary combat skills, confidently charges forward to deal with these monsters. They don't look friendly at all. Their eyes are bloodshot and filled with murderous intent. Facing these weaklings, Hyok doesn't need much heavy equipment. He goes straight into combat with them barehanded. Standing out among the beasts are Hyok's quick and agile movements. He easily grabs one monster's head and yanks another's off as if he were pulling weeds. They truly can't match Hyok. They move too slowly and attack clumsily. With just a small axe in hand, he can make them feel like they're in hell, sending each one back to the earth. While he's surfing with one monster's head in hand, another beast foolishly jumps in to fight him. Knowing how to utilize everything he has to fight is a significant advantage for Hyok. He doesn't talk much or show off. He simply throws the head of the previous monster at the new one. Naturally, the beast that charged in earlier doesn't have a good ending either. One by one, they are beaten to a pulp. Hyok is quite considerate, letting them soak in the cool water before drowning them until they log out. However, these beasts keep popping up like mushrooms, swarming Hyok like a colony of ants. Despite that, he manages to maintain his composure. Although Hyok knows he could easily outlast them all, he remains highly focused, not daring to let his guard down for even a second. I have no idea where all these monsters are coming from. Every time one falls, another one appears. But it's okay, this is actually a perfect opportunity for you to train your strength. One day, Hyok will be all muscle and might. Right now, you're nothing but a killing machine, swinging those precise strikes without a wasted move, turning those monsters into nothing but coconut shells. Hyok's beloved axe is now drenched in a deep red from blood, yet the battle between him and them seems far from over. However, Hyok doesn't want to linger with these guys any longer because he's starting to feel bored, so he makes a bold decision. All right, let's finish off these monsters once and for all. The monsters still haven't learned their lesson and charge at Hyok like moths drawn to a flame. He's surrounded on all sides, struggling with the one in front, but also having to keep an eye on the one behind him. Hyok then grits his teeth tightly and prepares to deliver a finishing blow right here, so let's pick up where we left off last time. A gentleman says what he means and means what he says. Hyok doesn't hesitate and pours all his strength into charging forward, using his axe to slice them into 100 pieces. The battle has reached its climax and is about to end. With a decisive and skillful movement, Hyok sends countless monsters out of the game all at once. As usual, his top-notch performance leaves everyone speechless in awe, and now the whirlwind of Hyok's assault is driving me crazy. The user only watching games donated 1001. Hey, you jerk, I asked you to play It Kills too. Why are you playing Diablo alone? Hyok is still a guy who moves like a whirlwind, and after spinning around like a storm sweeping away the monsters, he can't avoid getting dizzy. I'm fine, I'm used to it. After that, Hyok stands up and surveys the chaotic scene filled with blood and corpses before him. The user likable nickname donated 1001. Do you think they're still alive? He even asks if they're still alive. You've wiped them all out truly. When someone is both handsome and cool, everything they say is right. Just look at how they drop with a single blow when I aim for their weak spots. They don't seem very sturdy. Just having combat skills isn't enough. The ability to analyze the situation also contributes to his victory. That's because he aimed for their necks. Normally, shooting grenades at them wouldn't necessarily kill them, but why were they so easy to take down this time, getting their heads chopped off by an axe and still surviving? That's just common sense. In fact, professionals usually use knives to take them down. Slashing with melee weapons causes them to be stunned longer. At this moment, Hyok learns something new. These creatures are designed to be taken down that way. No wonder it's so easy. What the hell, we can't just charge in head-on like you. Sneaking up from behind and stabbing is the best way. How can you fight against 10 of them seriously, just 2 showing up and we'd have to pull out grenade launchers right away? At this point, Hyok is reading comments from everyone sharing their combat experiences. Really, from what I observed, they just charge straight at you. Don't you just need to dodge, predict, and then slash at them? However, in response to Hyok's seemingly obvious words, Jian sighs. Ordinary people can't do that, you big idiot. You've never been this clueless. How can a genius understand the struggles of ordinary people? Oh well, as long as the live stream is interesting, that's what matters. Hyok is still super excited to repeat his previous actions. Right, just like last time when I dealt with that brute slashing and stabbing. After completing the mission in this level, they continue their exploration. Don't explain anymore, just go on to the next level. Oh right, everyone remember to slash and stab for sure. Slash and stab, the way to dodge is to avoid before getting hit. So that's how it is, I get it now. Meanwhile, Cohen is facing off against Harang, raising both hands in front to block her attack. It seems that after her humiliating defeat against Hyok, Harang is now fiercely diving into real combat to improve her skills for the day of revenge. This time, Harang isn't going down easily. It looks like their reflexes are getting better day by day. The clash between Harang's sword and his hands creates an intense friction. Die. After pouring all his strength into his hand, Cohen waits for the perfect moment to throw a punch at Harang. However, being someone who has taken so many punches that she's lost a tooth, Harang has also reacted faster and dodged Cohen's punch. Indeed, this is all thanks to Hyok's influence. With her current determination, it seems Cohen will find it hard to win. Why won't you just die? In an instant, he becomes as panicked as a cow seeing a slaughterhouse when Harang unexpectedly attacks him. The Dance of Death. It seems Harang has learned a new attack style from Hyok, which is to terrorize her opponent with a flurry of punches. It looks like the end of Cohen has officially arrived. The result is beyond debate as Harang emerges victorious. No opponent can withstand that overpowering technique. This opponent is a bit tough. Who am I, the flower of the sword maiden? That dodge just now was amazing, slipping to the side and finishing off the opponent. Even though she has taken down an opponent with a beautifully executed technique, she still can't shake off her worries. Based on that skill, they should reach a superior level, the Dance of Death. It works even on top-tier experts, so why didn't it affect that rude guy earlier? This is one of the biggest questions weighing on her mind. Harang still can't breathe a sigh of relief since she doesn't have clear information about him. Is that guy a current professional player in UF or a former player? Or could he be a former professional player from Iron Fist instead of UF? One thing is for sure, he could be one of the strongest contenders in the world alongside the legendary Anatol in UF. Even though Harang doesn't particularly like Hyok, she has to admit his top-notch skills. Then she recalled some earlier words and felt a surge of confidence. Right, someone like him would say those things to her. Maybe he really is curious about her skills. Huh, what are you talking about? Don't tell me about that vague black shadow, I guess that's it. At that moment, Com sent her a new notification. You have a friend request. Harang, feeling a bit curious, clicked on it. Wait a minute, I have a friend request. What's going on? Don't tell me it's from a guy. If it is, I'll grab a bamboo spear right away. Seeing her suddenly jump, everyone rushed over to ask what was wrong. What's going on? Why is she so surprised? What is it? Just accept my friend request already. Hey, sword maiden, what's going on? Why are you trembling? At this moment, Harang was almost at her breaking point. If Hyok were here, she might have torn him apart by now, that bastard. Now you're even changing your nickname to mock me, I'll kill you. The friend request from that vague black shadow, I guess that's it. But Harang didn't know that Hyok had been indifferent like this since the beginning of the game. Indeed, when someone is talking behind your back, you feel an itch in your ears, and Hyok was no exception. He kept poking at his ears. Seeing Hyok's strange behavior, Jian asked, "What are you doing?" Hyok expressed his thoughts. "I'm sorry, is someone talking bad about me? My ears are just itching too much." "We're almost there. Beyond this iron door is the next boss. Finally, it's time for the next boss battle. Is it a killer? If there are 2 killers, that would be insane." As the challenges get tougher and more intricate, Jian had to prepare even more carefully. "This time I've read the strategy guide thoroughly. If you step on this tile, it will open." And sure enough, the door in front of them slowly creaked open, welcoming them inside. A long passage appeared before them, and Jian urged Hyok to hurry up. "Let's go inside." They slowly climbed the cold stone steps, just a few more steps to go. We'll reach this iron grate, and behind these bars, they slowly moved toward the source of light. Looking inside, it was like a prison holding tortured souls, incredibly haunting, as you can see countless zombies along with them. The gatekeeper was supposed to protect the killer, but witnessing this scene, everyone felt something was off. Wait a minute, something doesn't feel right. I don't see the killer's gatekeeper anywhere. They immediately recognized the big problem here. That's right, the killer should be standing right in the middle, huh? That doesn't look like a zombie at all. But life is a trick. Things became even more complicated when they spotted a woman with disheveled hair in the distance. There's an old lady in a wheelchair. What the hell is she doing here? What is this? Upon seeing her face, Jian immediately screamed and hid behind Hyok. "Chloe, is that you, that old lady?" He also quietly speculated about the identity of the person before him. Based on Jian's reaction and the viewers, she must be a boss character, perhaps the first person infected by the mutated virus or something similar. That's why she can control the other zombies. There really was someone like that before. After the outbreak, China was divided into 6 nations, and that person proclaimed himself king in one of those nations. He awakened a type of zombie virus-like ability that allowed him to command the infected. With that ability, he even dared to challenge Trandao, the strongest in China. So what was the outcome then? That's right. He was completely crushed by Trandao. That event confirmed that super hunters are immune to toxins and viruses. Indeed, old memories flooded back. Although everyone was silently praying, Hyok pointed forward with excitement. After all, that's the boss monster, right? But everyone's response shocked him to the core, causing him to freeze in place. No, that's your wife. Actually, she's your ex-wife, but she's definitely a final boss monster. Your ex-wife, you're wearing glasses, she's definitely a boss monster. Ji-an then explained the rules of the game to Hyok. From what I know, if we don't save Chol within a certain time frame, she'll age rapidly. The mutation from the virus will manifest as aging. Is our completion time really that slow? She retorted, not at all. In fact, we're moving really fast. Hey everyone, what's going on? The experts chimed in. We don't know either. Is this a game glitch? Did someone crank up the difficulty to insane levels? User only watching games donated 1001. Isn't it because you haven't sprayed the serum yet? So you have to use the sprayer to apply the serum to slow down the infection process. Surprising, isn't it, old man? What you refused to do at first is now proving useful. Normally, when entering a hidden path, you have to spray the serum all over the map with a sprayer. But these capitalist brothers have been blinded by the rewards from Block. It seems they've overlooked the need to harvest the serum and crank the game's difficulty to maximum. They might be able to find a vaccine later to save Chola. Hyok didn't expect to go so far off track. Damn, I've made her end up like this. That's right, you killed her, you ex-wife killer, Hyok then asked. After all, she was my ex-wife who aged due to the virus mutation, right? And now we have to defeat her. Oh man, what kind of storyline is this? Even though we've come this far, you're just now making these kinds of remarks. With all her experience, she enlightened him. Actually, Chol is the root of all this from the very beginning. Hey everyone, you don't mind revealing the plot, do you? No way, this game has been out for years. What more can we reveal? In fact, Chol is a biochemical researcher in a military organization. The mutation strain causing all this chaos was created by her and her organization to develop biological weapons. But she tried to secretly smuggle the mutation strain out of the lab to sell it to a rival organization. She was caught in the act and had to hide here while being pursued by her own organization, and during that time, Chol got infected with the pathogen from the mutation strain. In short, Chol is both the mastermind behind this situation and the source of the event. She is the host of the mutation strain, and Jian quickly realized the problem. After hearing the entire story from beginning to end, Hyok became more excited than ever. All right, so simply put, if we deal with her, we can beat the game right. Exactly. Without hesitation, he picked up his axe. All right then, Jian, open the bars. We're going in right away. So we're facing a boss monster now, and the most breath-holding moment is about to arrive. What the killer isn't showing up, it kills explain, we don't know either. Don't ask us. We're newbies in this mode too. After the bars were opened, they were ready to go all out. Let's start. This is what you all have been waiting for and hoping to witness. A grand scene unfolds, the axe goes wild. Everyone step aside to watch Hyok dance. Just as the game began, the zombies couldn't hold back and rushed towards Hyok like crazy. Quickly, he took down one of them. This was the second wave of enhanced zombies following the previous one. If Hyok can maintain his performance like before, he's sure to win this battle. If this is their final showdown, the boss fight will be a piece of cake. Everyone couldn't help but worry for his safety, but there were too many enhanced zombies, double the last time. Just a light bite could inflict a status effect. No matter how skilled Hyok is, it's nearly impossible to wipe them all out and take down the final boss Chol. If they complete this mission, they will officially beat the game. But don't forget our Hyok has a sweeping move, the ultimate technique of the Storm Master. Everyone seems to have a lot of faith in Hyok, and so he will do his best not to let everyone down. But using this move continuously in real mode instead of game mode is a bit risky. Oh right, Hyok gets motion sickness. With his superhuman body, he's getting dizzy from spinning around. How adorable. So how will he wipe out those zombies? Everyone is eagerly anticipating his breakthrough moments. It felt like the zombies were endless, just like those countless monsters that could never be wiped out. So Hyok started to think of a different, more energy-efficient strategy. Instead of trying to eliminate them, he aimed to take down the final boss. Hyok just let the zombies take a quick hit at him, finishing it off swiftly. If defeating the final boss of the game would allow him to break through here, he would leap over the horde of zombies without bothering to attack them, shifting his focus to Chole. We can dodge the zombies and find the shortest route. Then he would directly take down the final boss. Now Chol was just a small distance away from Hyok, and she could be defeated by him at any moment. But it wasn't going to be that easy. It turned out she had an incredibly powerful attack mechanism integrated into her vision. When she saw his intention to approach Chol, activated that feature, and at that moment she exploded like a bomb, releasing an immense source of energy that shook the surrounding space. Hyok didn't expect her to go all out like that, so he couldn't help but stare in shock. In an instant, a devastating explosion occurred, blowing apart a corner of the building with smoke and fire engulfing the area. It seemed like things were getting tough now. Hyok couldn't finish her off as easily as before. Chol's ultimate sound wave technique could kill them, but it could also backfire. If he let his guard down, Chol's sound wave attack would be truly terrifying. He had already become a good teacher. The scene now looked like everything had been completely destroyed under the pitch-black night sky. Everyone looked at the pile of zombies, wondering if they thought it was some zombie that had risen from the dead after the tremor. But it turned out that person was Hyok. Luckily, he was still alive thanks to his grandparents with a hand still intact. Although they had indeed made a small mistake that led to this situation, as long as they were still breathing, there was hope. Thankfully, they hadn't passed out yet. It was close. Hyok couldn't believe he blocked that attack using a reinforced zombie in such a short time. Although Chol had just dealt a painful blow to Hyok, she also had a self-destruct moment that sent the zombies away to protect herself. After all, that attack wiped out the remaining zombies, leaving only the final boss. If I were careful with that last attack, I could take down the final boss in the blink of an eye. However, despite Hyok's confidence, everyone else didn't think so. After all, it was the final boss. You can't just say it can be taken down easily. I'll say it again, only you can do that. They had rested long enough, and now was the time for them to unleash all their attacks. From Chol's eyes and mouth, a strange purple slime began to ooze out. It was finally starting. It kills 2 phases. After a while of transforming, her appearance became more monstrous than her old one. Chol's dark form was like a bacterial tumor. But that still didn't seem enough. Something long and green began to appear at the same time. Not to mention, I wondered where it had disappeared to, damn it. The final boss, a 3-headed monster, and he had to win with just 2 small axes. This difficulty was insane. Now Hyok had to face Chol's dark form along with her 3 green serpents that looked like banana leaves. Seeing her transform from a zombie into such a horrifying monster, Ji-an couldn't hide her astonishment. Are you kidding me? Normally there was just 1, and now there are 3 instead of 2, not to mention there's still the final boss. Has everyone gone crazy? Who donated 1,001 to increase the difficulty? From the beginning, I was only thinking about eliminating the one who forced me into hard labor. The chat was too intense. It was true that just mentioning the devil made him appear right away. At this moment, everyone couldn't take their eyes off the tension that was as tight as a string glued to the screen. Honestly, if I were anyone else, I would be furious too, watching someone break through the game without using a single bullet and just with 2 axes. Try to get through this with just an axe. Ji-an, although not doing much, always believed that Hyok could handle this beautifully. How could I get through this? It's really unreasonable. Even if the final boss isn't that hard, everyone knows how tough those killers are. Not to mention, they can become invisible while attacking, making it even harder to deal with. Just thinking about that made Ji-an's face turn pale. National hip-hop champion Ji-yoon donated 1,001. Shoot them with a gun and the hit points will appear. That's the way to get through. But the problem is we can't use that method here. We're on a mission that only allows melee weapons. Since they were 2 slaves to capitalism, they had to endure a little hardship. If that's the case, then his sister can't shoot. There's a reason why the room owner hasn't shot a single bullet until now. Just hearing about Ji-an's shooting made both of them get goosebumps, not daring to think about that horrifying possibility. But after thinking it over, she picked up a gun because Ji-an couldn't just sit around chilling. That person was right. From the beginning, she had let her brother do all the work. She just needed to hold off those weird killers with this gun. However, while Ji-an was determined to contribute to helping Hyok, he placed his hand on her gun. Then Hyok directly snatched the gun from Ji-an's hands and wouldn't allow her to touch the hot weapon. Forget it, don't think too much. Why do you just want to help me? But Hyok's intention was for Ji-an not to do anything. He just needed her to sit still. Not doing anything is already helping me. He was still haunted by that mistake. I just want to help you. To add fuel to the fire, everyone reminded him that that mistake had left a mark on Hyok's forehead, the god of destruction of teammates. Ji-an shouted after being teased, "Shut up, do you think I want that?" Hyok joined this game to improve his skills, but he just wanted Ji-an to play and chill. Ji-an was probably just trying her best. After all, this was just a recreational game and she should enjoy it too. Then he suddenly thought of something and turned to ask, "All right, do you still have those grenades we found earlier?" She quickly pulled out a few, saying, "These ones." Without hesitating, they jumped into action to wrap this up quickly. They had discussed it beforehand. When he signaled, she was to throw it forward. "Come on, trust me. I just have a feeling you might forget to pull the pin." "No way, don't jinx it." Seeing everyone lose faith in him like that, Jian spoke up. "Come on, at least I know how to use a grenade." Hearing this, he chuckled. "That's right, our Jian isn't stupid." However, everyone shot back at him fiercely. "Aren't you the one who treated her like the biggest fool? She meant well, just stop it, let's get started." After waiting for the right moment, Hyok hoisted a zombie's corpse onto his shoulder and blinked forward. "Get ready, Jian." The three snakes immediately activated their invisibility mode, leaving them even more confused. The invisible mode, the realm of the killer, the boss battle began. Even though he faced a formidable opponent, Hyok wasn't scared at all. He bravely charged forward. "Now's the time." Jian had been ready all along, and then she took her stance and threw the grenade with a decisive motion, no unnecessary movements. Whether by accident or on purpose, the grenade flew right above Hyok's head. Seriously, of all the places to throw it, she threw it right at Hyok's head. In an instant, the grenade exploded a cloud of smoke enveloping the three snakes, but Hyok was nowhere to be seen. Hyok second-alleyed down Jian's wrath. It turned out that what seemed like a perfect throw was actually a mistake from Jian's position. "Sorry, bro, I slipped." In another time and space, Hyok was a hero saving humanity, so his blessings piled up like a mountain. After that grenade throw, he was still standing strong. He was okay. "That guy trusts you too much, huh? Who else but Hyok?" He was still intact because he didn't place his faith in Jian. Of course, he knew she would do that, so he grabbed the zombie's body to use as a shield. When everyone saw that Hyok was safe, they were incredibly excited. "Hyok, the god of resurrection, I might not trust Jian, but I always trust the axe-wielding killer Hyok. That's right, put your faith in my axe skills." More than that little sister of yours, he had 2 axes in hand ready to be thrown forward. "We believe in you," Hyok charged. With the axe in hand, he showcased his physical strength by thrusting the axe hard into the snake's eye, restricting its movement. Eye attack killer. It seemed that the first snake had tasted the pain he inflicted. "Hyok the killer is right behind you." The only downside to handling everything alone was that Hyok was very susceptible to ambush from behind. Chol, the black-faced one, took the opportunity to attack him from behind. Luckily, he noticed just in time and managed to dodge to the side. Chol then dove down like a drill, but Hyok could still leap into the air and dodge it quite easily. Of course, he couldn't just sit there and let it hit him. Hyok raised his axe, preparing to attack the snake. But contrary to Hyok's expectations, its skin was as hard as stone when he swung the axe, catching him off guard. Things were getting tense now. His main weapon was the axe, yet it couldn't do anything to it. As if that wasn't enough, another one used its invisibility skill to attack him from behind, the semi-transparent killer lurking behind. Since they had the advantage of invisibility, Hyok faced quite a bit of difficulty in the fight. He was immediately knocked back. The killer's invisibility had returned, seeming to have recovered from the earlier explosion. However, when attacking or being attacked, the invisibility would break. Wasn't this getting too intense? How could he pierce through that tough scale with just an axe? It seemed that now Hyok wore a smile of helplessness. "This is a bit troublesome, huh? You see, this is getting tricky." But contrary to everyone's thoughts, this battle gave him a refreshing feeling. The trouble was more exciting than he expected. He's really lost it. Yes, this is the Hyok we know. This time, let's really play the game. Not only are you not discouraged, but you're even more excited, rushing forward at lightning speed. Hyok analyzes the current situation a bit. First, the guy in the middle can't go invisible because he's injured, while the other 2 are starting to become invisible. Among the previous alien species, there were some that altered their molecular structure to become transparent, allowing all light to pass through. Compared to them, these 3 snakes are nothing at all. What Hyok needs most right now is that glorious feeling from the past to relive the sensation of having defeated this creature before. Without wasting any more time, Hyok charged towards Chol and the 3 serpents with an air of arrogance, unafraid of anyone. Having become familiar with the attack patterns of the 3 serpents, he could easily pinpoint their locations with 2 in front and 1 behind. Even though both invisible ones attacked, Hyok managed to dodge them effortlessly. It's insane that he could avoid that move. What kind of physical ability does he have? To quickly end this, Hyok decided to take out the weakest one first, starting with the one injured in the eye. But how was he going to attack it earlier? Even the scales had rendered his attacks ineffective. I'm not sure if the game takes this detail into account. However, if the developers are the type to pay attention to small details the next moment, everyone was stunned as he executed an incredibly artistic move. Was he aiming for the reverse scales of the snake? That very weakness allowed Hyok to finish it off as easily as slicing through fruit. That's right, attacking against the scales like this if I focus my attacks here. The monstrous reptile was left with just one blow to finish it off. Indeed, Hyok has a keen eye for observation, being able to identify its weak point to land the final blow. Only Hyok could pull that off. Normally, if we tried that, we'd be dead in one hit from the final boss's tentacle attack. At this moment, Chol finally joined the fray. It used its flexible tentacles to attack from various angles, but Hyok was still a bit faster and managed to dodge again. He did it again. Although he had taken one out in a pool of blood, there were still two more waiting for Hyok, the killers, lurking behind. But with his beloved axe in hand, he could handle whatever came from behind without any problem. As expected, Hyok delivered a devastating punch to the second serpent so powerful that it caused it to collapse to the ground immediately. You're going down. It seems that victory has tilted in Hyok's favor as he successfully took control of it. He pulled with all his might, dragging the creature towards him after hooking both axes into its jaws. Hyok is truly insane playing in such a reckless manner. What a crazy moment this is. While Hyok was still dealing with this one, the third serpent peeked out from behind, intending to save its buddy, the final killer. He recalled how he had fought chaos using the tactic of letting friends kill each other, so Hyok dodged to the side, allowing the third one to charge and bite the second. Please, Hyok. The greatest weakness of the reptilian monster is inside its mouth, and after a moment's thought, he launched his attack. Right on the underside of its back, which is its belly, remember this well. If I can keep this in mind, I can conquer this today. I know you're still alive. The only one who can kill the god Hyok is the godslayer Yurand. Both serpents looked extremely battered, now covered in injuries and bleeding profusely. However, Hyok enjoyed seeing them in that state, so he charged in to deliver a final blow. God Hyok, I'm a man, but I love you. Now there's just one left. What the hell could happen next? With Hyok's powerful performance, his opponents have now dwindled down to two. The final boss, the bacterial entity Chole, now just needs to be finished off, and Hyok will officially become a legend in people's hearts. As everything was nearing its conclusion, he felt incredibly excited and full of energy as he rushed forward to face it one last time. Nothing is impossible, just fear a lack of perseverance. Hyok dashed forward so fast that he barely had time to look. Then he jumped high into the air and decided to go all out against Chole, no win, no retreat. Let's go. The troll washing machine has donated 30,001. We've won. Genius Appealer has donated 10,001. This is just insane, and it's only the second day of the full dive, right? A big splash of blood in the air means Hyok has claimed victory. Donated 10,001. Could it really be that the god is Hyok? This is just crazy. Watching today's live broadcast was definitely a smart choice. Seriously, anyone who missed it has lost half their life. Yurand was overjoyed to see Hyok wipe them all out, running towards him like she just hit the jackpot. We've won. We've conquered the game. She couldn't help but beam with joy, her eyes shining like stars. Thank you for the donation. I'm really happy to see it. I just started getting into it, and it's already over. Honestly, the Ultimate Fighter match was more exciting. Hyok's axe is now drenched in blood. After the clash with Harang, he gained some valuable experience, especially from the battle with the Black Sword Girl. The variety in attack styles, distance control, and psychological games were fascinating. Compared to that, those monsters had instant kill moves and their patterns were too simple. Reflecting back, Hyok felt this battle wasn't too exhausting. After all, it wasn't that hard this time. Black Oak has donated 100,001. You're on fire today. Seeing myself getting donations from the legendary CEO is super exciting. Thank you for today's donation. At least we weren't fooled about the mission rewards. That damn mosquito is back. I have to dive right in after tasting a bit of the views. Hyok's conquering video has already been uploaded to Black Oak's section. Was it edited in real time? Just as he conquered the game, it got posted. But why is Hyok's video in Black Oak's section? Yurand jumped in to explain right away. Oh, that's because we haven't created an account for the section yet to trade off sending viewers to them. We agreed to upload this game to Black Oak's section. Blackdack has donated 100,001. I'm off now. Keep streaming. See you in the next collaboration. You two are working together. That's wild. Taking this opportunity, Yurand bragged about the collaboration with Black Oak. Oh, I forgot to mention my RPA is streaming live with Black Oak this time. Donated 10001. Are you two streaming together? Hyok quickly denied. This time it's just me and Black Oak, and that broadcast won't be on Jian's channel but on my channel. Finally, what's your streamer name? Hearing that, she realized and asked him, have you thought of a name yet? Not yet, I'm planning to use my real name. If your sister is Janchu, then wouldn't you be Hyokchu? Hyok grimaced at that name. I'd rather use my real name than mimic my sister. Don't hate on your sister like that. This is true sibling love, seeing him complain about his name. Jian chimed in, what's wrong with Janchu? But the next moment, Hyok flipped his stance faster than a pancake. Jian, I think Janchu is a really nice name. But how should I really say it? In an instant, Hyok grimaced again. Surprised, huh? Who would have thought he'd come out as a total bot? Hyokchu is here. He couldn't help but laugh at his super gay act. Do I have to do this embarrassing thing every time? And of course, even Jian couldn't stand this cringe-worthy style. Stop it, it's too gross. I feel like I just witnessed something horrifying. Please mark this as inappropriate content after proving to everyone that Hyokchu is a name that gives goosebumps. He decided to stick with his beloved real name, so I'll just use Hyok. My eyes are rotting away. I can't see anything anymore. Anyway, my Appa streamer debut will be at 8 p.m. tomorrow. You can find more details in my Twitch profile. Just one more day until the debut. How can I wait until tomorrow? Holding my breath until then, Jian and Hyok were very grateful for everyone's enthusiastic support. So they thanked them and left. Thank you all for watching. See you in tomorrow's broadcast. The next day, why should Hyok play the next Legend League? I just want to watch, at least you're being honest. Those who requested to play Legend League are really foolish. Am I the only one who wants to see Hyok destroy everything in Dark Souls? That game is outdated. Why doesn't he join the new Chrome game? Black Orc has been following every live stream of Hyok. Just as expected, he knows how to stir up the atmosphere. And now the two of them are close brothers, video calling each other. Hyok, you've seen the recent posts, right? I've seen them. Honestly, I didn't expect so many people to be talking about it, hearing that he had to admit that's the influence you've created with your instant kill. Since Hyok has shown his overwhelming skills, I think the content of the live stream should be games that showcase physical strength, Black Orc excitedly suggested. Hearing that, he was quite curious to know what game is it, and Black Orc immediately revealed his favorite game, Rise of Valhalla. Rise of Valhalla is a game set in the 9th century during the Anglo-Saxon invasion of England by the barbaric army of Viking warriors. Its characteristic is an excellent combat mechanism and extremely intense, brutal battles that carry a noble essence on the battlefield more than anyone else. Black Orc is heavily promoting this game to entice Hyok to give it a try. This is the perfect game to experience what they call Viking high, and it's also one of the most recommended games on the forums. What do you think, Hyok? After listening closely without missing a word, he had a few points of interest he wanted to ask. Valhalla has both standard and realistic modes, right? Yes, that's correct. Black Orc then continuously convinced Hyok that he should dive into this game because it was made for him. Honestly, in terms of entertainment value, Valhalla is the perfect game for you. Your biggest strength is your physical skills, right? Valhalla supports both game mode and realistic mode, and from all the efforts you've been making to introduce it, this game sounds really appealing. The next moment, he revealed a mind-blowing fact that Hyok might want to know. But most people won't keep up with the Viking-level physicality, so almost no one plays in realistic mode. If you play in realistic mode, you don't even need to face boss-level enemies. In realistic mode, even the Saxon soldiers in the early stages are extremely difficult to defeat. I've tried the realistic mode a few times and got utterly destroyed. Hyok then became curious about his gameplay. How far did you get in the realistic mode? Challenge Black Orc. He didn't hesitate to reveal after many attempts I only defeated a regular knight, but right after that I got crushed by the next one. I wouldn't call that a spoiler. Hearing that, Hyok was taken aback to see that Black Orc was still struggling with this game. He performed quite well in Ultimate Fighter before, so how could he also struggle against a knight? Then it must be nearly impossible for an average player. Black Orc didn't expect Hyok to be so straightforward, so he felt a bit embarrassed not knowing where to hide his face. Saying that made me feel a little embarrassed too. I lost badly. Then he recalled when the memory suddenly flooded back just before that we had just fought a match in Ultimate Fighter. But Hyok will only get stronger. If I win just one round, I'll immediately turn off Alpha and never fight Hyok again. It turns out all those words were to lure Black Orc into his glorious plan. The strategy is that you really are playing tricks here. I will forever be the one to defeat Hyok and Alpha Black Oak. But if he wants that to happen, he might very well end up being beaten just like Harang. I jumped in hoping to brag about it. If this version of Hyok is around, he might just conquer it all the way to the end, the realistic mode challenge of Valhalla, something I have never completed myself. To ensure that Hyok will definitely join this game, Black Orc sparked his interest in it. Only a select few get to reach the end of the Valhalla realistic mode challenge, and even they can only pass after countless retries. But if it's you won't need any retries, and I believe you can overcome this challenge. It seems he has a lot of faith in Hyok. After having a promotional chat with Black Orc, he made his decision. I understand now. It's already 8 o'clock. Hyok then powered up his machine, preparing for a new journey. If I want to be worthy of that trust, I need to try even harder. Then he sat down at the machine and excitedly contacted G&G, and "Can you hear me?" On the other side of the screen, she quickly connected back and responded to Hyok with a bright smile. "Yes, I can hear you clearly, Appa. Remember to do your job as a manager well today." Then let's start Full Dive. Full Dive is connecting to the game lobby. I shouted out loud, "God, Hyok, the gate is open, let's go." Everyone is eagerly anticipating every minute and second before his comeback. "What game are we playing today? What are we playing? Aren't we playing Diablo?" In response to everyone's curiosity, he casually hinted, "Hello, everyone. I'll let you know what I'm playing later." Diablo. That's a bit. Does anyone have any questions for me? Hearing that, everyone started throwing 7,749 questions at Hyok. "Who are you really? What did you do before? How come you're so good at gaming? Shouldn't we say you're good at fighting?" Then Hyok already had answers ready in his head, but didn't know how to say them because they all sounded pretty lame. Saving the world as the strongest hunter and then reverting back. I can't just say I was trained to save a world that won't collapse. After a while of thinking, he decided to skip that question. Talking about the past is a bit hard for me, so I'll pass. Look at that way of dodging the question. He must be an agent from some intelligence unit, definitely a special forces soldier. In response to everyone's suspicion, Hyok continued to steer the conversation to something else and asked, "Anyway, there's one thing I want to ask everyone. I plan to turn this game into my live streaming content. Now open the game library." When the two game titles appeared before them, everyone couldn't help but buzz with excitement at Kills and Ultimate. Since I've already conquered at Kills, let's skip that. Could it be Ultimate, a surprise attack from Ultimate Fighter? Isaac Picking Toast donated 1,001. Wait, did you really play Ultimate Fighter? He admitted and explained why I played it a few times back when it was a console game, so now it feels quite nostalgic. What do you all think? How can Hyok play such a mediocre fighting game? After all, this guy belongs to the MZ generation. If that's the case, why not just go for Iron Fist? I see everyone doesn't really appreciate my nostalgic game, so I genuinely ask, is the reaction of everyone really like, what Black Oak said, is Ultimate Fighter really that bad? Suddenly, Jian connected with him. Appa Ultimate Fighter is so outdated. Jian's management mode activated so cute Ji-Chu. Seeing Hyok looking like a lost deer just coming down from the mountain, she immediately enlightened him. Ultimate Fighter is so bad that it's called a mediocre fighting game or simply just mediocre. Nowadays, Iron Fist is the top choice for fighting games. Hearing that, he decided not to stubbornly dive into it anymore. For now, it's better to avoid Ultimate Fighter during the live stream. Stano Straight Jetupper donated 1,001. If so, why not try the blockbuster fighting game Iron Fist? After that, Hyok announced, "I've decided on the game for today." Appa, we have a lot of viewers, let's start early. The number of viewers this time reached 2245, about 20 times the number of viewers last time. So many people. Is this guy really that good at games? Is this his first time here? He's really crazy, just watch and you'll see. After a while of interacting with fans, Hyok didn't keep everyone waiting any longer and started, "All right, let's begin the game Rise of Valhalla." Full Dive Rise of Valhalla connection complete currently in inactive mode. He immediately found himself in a new space dressed in a cool Viking outfit. Just talking about mediocre fighting games and now suddenly switching to Valhalla, what a crazy transition Valhalla is calling me. After landing, he looked around with curiosity. So this is the Viking world in Rise of Valhalla. Appa, choose the mode first. On Hyok's notification screen, two options appeared: game mode and reality mode. Without hesitation, he chose option 2. I'll try the reality mode first. It's my first time playing the reality challenge mode. This is going to be wild. Let's grab some snacks. Vikings mean axes, and axes mean Hyok the god. The wave of excitement is about to explode. Oh, there's another pair of axes. But that's not all. Hyok also introduced another character. Today we have a special guest. And who else could it be? The guest he was talking about is Black Orsk. Everyone Trash Hand has appeared and Black Mosquito is online. This guy is back in the game to farm items. Then Black Orc winked at everyone, don't hate the mosquito anymore. After that, Hyok introduced his collaboration. Yes, according to our collaboration agreement, Black Orc will draw viewers to my live stream and in return we will upload the collaboration video to his channel. Black Orc attracted 27 viewers. See, now he's not a mosquito anymore, he's honey, right? Indeed, he helped me attract a huge number of viewers. However, just after a short while, the number of viewers skyrocketed to 5,128. This rookie is really crazy, 5 viewers on the first day. That's insane. A monster rookie has appeared. And all of this is exactly what Black Orc wanted. Yes, this is how to build relationships step by step. If I build a relationship with the rising star Hyok now, just standing next to him, I'll benefit immensely. Without hesitation, he already intended to profit from Hyok with a sly smile on his face. After a while of waiting, they finally officially started. All right, let's start the game. The computer is booting up the game. The inactive mode of Rise of Valhalla has been disabled. The story of Rise of Valhalla begins. In the year 793, a terrible disaster struck the sacred land of Northumbria. A cursed name Vikings, where MSF fought against Vagnar's and his warriors, set foot on the shores of Northumbria. Ragnar fought his last battle against Aella, the king of Northumbria. Life is never as dreamy as it seems. He fell into a trap and met a tragic end. He screamed in rage at the moment of impending death, "You cowardly Saxons, this isn't over. If my sons knew, they wouldn't sit still. From the warrior hall prepared by Odin, I will smile and watch your deaths." And these were his last words before being executed by that cold blade. Valhalla and his life ended regretfully. Like that, a large spray of blood splattered into the air. Welcome to Rise of Valhalla, the recognition of a warrior. And this strong man before us is Yurand Handfast, the NPC combat trainer, and he is the greatest warrior of the Vikings. Falling under the hands of the ruthless Saxons, our mission is to take revenge and punish them. And that is the journey Hyok will go through to conquer this game. After discussing the mission, he boldly asked only those who earn the recognition of a warrior can truly become one. Who will be the first to become Odin's warrior? Since Hyok was new to the game, Black Orsi introduced him, saying that Yurand would be his teacher in normal mode, teaching him defense techniques and combat. But in the realistic mode, he must earn Yurand's recognition to qualify to play Valhalla. Also known as the recognition of a warrior, realistically, this mode is meant for veterans. Newcomers should best keep quiet and stick to normal gameplay. Black Orc, with his impulsive nature, picked up an axe and said, "Then I'll go first." Black Oak is using dual axes trying to mimic Hyok. This is going to be hilarious. But on his face was the look of confidence. Everyone knew I had already taken down a knight with a sword and shield, right? Even if dual weapons are hard to use, it's just swapping the sword and shield for axes. And with Black Oak's natural talent, he might just pull it off. He was very confident in himself, thinking, yeah, I've already faced the realistic mode challenge in Rise of Valhalla. Yurand seemed quite amused by Black Orc's powerful weapon, dual axes. It had been a long time since he saw a rookie brave enough to wield weapons in both hands. "I'll teach you how to use those axes properly, so go ahead, rookie," he said, ready to give Black Orc a lesson. That so-called rookie title, I'll make him take that back. With his show-off nature, he immediately blinked to Yurand's side with 2 axes in hand. Of course, Black Orc didn't want to be seen as a newbie, so he put all his effort into showcasing his talent. Using dual weapons is tough to control, but it has its own advantages, one of which is the element of surprise with 2 weapons. Even though the enemy defended against his first strike, he seemed to have put in a lot of effort swinging a powerful axe toward Yurand, but he still managed to block it with his sword in time. He didn't hesitate to give direct feedback on the strength of that last strike with a smirk on his face. "Your attack was too weak. If I lose this round, I'll try again." He didn't give up, and jumped high into the air, delivering a powerful strike, then unexpectedly finishing them off with a dual axe combo. However, before he could even touch a hair on Yurand, Black Orc was caught off guard by a surprise punch. "You think you're smarter than a duck?" It seems Black Orc's skills are still very green compared to Yurand. He could easily take him down with just 1 punch. After that, Black Orc struggled to get up, still trembling. Everyone saw how poor his skills were and couldn't help but comment, "See, that's what happens when you use dual weapons without skill." After facing Black Orc directly, Yurand expressed his disappointment in his lacking abilities. "Pathetic, you're not a warrior at all. Go find a job as a kitchen assistant or something." Being a kitchen assistant is truly humiliating. In Viking culture, it's a disgrace worse than direct insults. Yurand, the master of sarcasm, had just begun, and now Black Orc had to face the embarrassment of his own arrogance. Now let the next challenger step up. Seeing this, Hyok kindly asked him, "Are you okay?" But Black Orc was fine, though it was a fine line. "Kitchen assistant, seriously, is my dual axe performance that bad, Sir Hyok?" "No." When he heard the answer no come from Hyok's mouth, Black Orc's face lit up. "I knew it, Sir Hyok acknowledges my skills." However, Hyok's next words were a blow that pushed Black Orc down to the bottom of the social ladder. Instead of saying you're terrible, you basically can't do anything. He was just stating the truth. Terrible, you're completely useless. The taunts from everyone combined with Hyok's comments felt like salt in Black Orc's wounds, freezing him in place. Moreover, all he did was get beaten up. Not stopping there, Hyok's words officially made him burst into tears like a child. "All right, I get it. Stop it, please. Stop the bullying." Just picking up a weapon doesn't mean it will be effective. Whether it is effective or not depends on the person wielding it. In reality, while dual axes may look flashy, they must be used in a very direct manner. Not wanting to sound too harsh with Black Orc, he suggested he watch his video. "If you've seen my It Kills performance, you'll understand better." Black Orc now looked like a zombie standing stiffly in place. "I've seen it even for hours on end, trying to mimic it to the point where my muscles ache." Seeing him strive to be like himself, Hyok couldn't hide his emotional choke. "Man, you're really a pain. Black Orc, you have no talent at all." Even in It Kills 2, they called him a novice. In response to Black Orc's confused expression, he placed a hand on his shoulder and emotionally advised, "Just hang in there no matter how hopeless you feel in battle." OnlyFax has requested a mission worth 100,001. Hyok, give it your all to impress us, of course, if you can defeat Yurand. While Hyok happily accepted the mission, Black Orc looked like he was about to pounce and devour him. "Now I remember this is my first mission. Damn, I could have punched him already." Hyok God Disciple has requested a mission worth 10,001. Let's add that to the previous one. Kill Yurand has requested a mission worth 30,001. Me Too Viking Style has requested a mission worth 30,001. Seeing everyone donate so much money for this mission made me curious. Thank you, everyone. So is defeating Yurand really that hard? He confirmed yes. Yurand is a retired berserker vice captain. Black Orc looked over at Yurand, training nearby, and added, "Even in the middle of a fight, he's still pretty strong. That's impressive." It seems there's no one here who can match Yurand. He possesses both a strong physique and excellent combat skills. You're pathetic. I can't even bear to watch anymore. After teaching countless opponents what respect means, Yurand challenged once again. "Now who's the next one daring enough to challenge me?" Batichu has requested a mission worth 10,001. There's no way he can lose. No matter how strong Yurand is, he's no match for Hyok. "Shut up, pig. You're the real pig here." Seeing the tension rise, he quickly reassured, "All right, everyone, let's not argue anymore." After that, Hyok pondered for a moment. Winning just seems a bit too easy. Let's see. If that's the case, suddenly Hyok raised his axe forward, leaving Yurand confused. True to his quick strike nature, Hyok raised the difficulty of the mission to a new level. "If I win in 10 seconds, the mission will be completed." Batichu has requested a mission worth 50,001. All right, I'll add that, but can we make it 10 seconds? Hyokchu has requested a mission worth 100,001. Defeat Yurand in 10 seconds, let's go. Lipchu has requested a mission worth 50,001. Isn't this just free money? This is a sure win. Yurand isn't Black Orc. He can't last 10 seconds. Seeing that everyone didn't think highly of him, he quickly defended himself. "No, everyone, I just wasn't used to using an axe before. With my sword and shield combo, I wouldn't even need 3 seconds. That makes sense. It should only take 5 seconds, right, seriously. When Yurand saw Hyok approaching with the axe, he asked, "Are you using dual axes too?" At this moment, Yurand was still confident he could handle Hyok, but little did he know he wouldn't be able to smile for long. "Come on, kid, let's see if you're worthy of using dual axes." Without making Yurand wait any longer, Hyok raised his axe high, preparing to throw it. With his incredible strength, the axe flew towards Yurand at an astonishing speed. He seemed genuinely intrigued by Hyok's unique fighting style. Throwing the axe right from the start, but Hyok's attack was still blocked by him. However, just like in previous encounters, that was merely a feint to lure the opponent. The next moment, Hyok charged forward, closing in on Yurand. Then he swung down with a powerful strike, but thankfully Yurand was alert enough to block it with his blade, even though he was a bit surprised at first. Now Yurand looked at Hyok with a completely different gaze, and his fighting style became more serious. Throwing money was just a feint, huh? Finally, a worthy opponent has appeared. Hyok didn't underestimate him either. Yurand in front of him was no ordinary foe. Can he run? This guy is different from the others. Even in the fight with Black Orc, his combat skills stood out. He must have trained by studying battle data and refining his techniques. Isn't that called enhanced learning? A suspicion arose in his mind. Surely there are NPCs even stronger than Yurand, but my real combat experience far exceeds any of them. After analyzing the situation and assessing the opponent's strength, he decided to act quickly. After all, first I'll take this guy down. Around him now was a circle of light radiating marvelous beams. Unlike Black Orc, who would mock Hyok, Yurand praised him, encouraging his fighting spirit. Good fighting spirit. Let's see if your skills match that spirit. Not wanting to remain on the defensive, Yurand teleported towards Hyok, preparing to swing his axe at him. And of course, even though he possessed immense strength, Hyok had no trouble blocking that attack. Seeing this, Yurand continued to pour all his strength into trying to injure him. The tension was now clearly visible on his face. The duel was undeniably tense, as neither side was willing to back down, and both were evenly matched, with Yurand's strength surpassing mine by a notch. Seeing that this fighting style didn't seem quite right, Hyok decided to switch to a new strategy, so I would block his relentless attacks. Hyok placed one foot on Yurand's sword to temporarily halt his next strikes. Then he also used Yurand's sword as a lever to help him approach him from a more effective and safer distance, neutralizing his weapon. Seizing the rhythm of his attacks, he jumped. While Yurand still hadn't figured out what Hyok was up to, it was already too late. He had jumped high. Surprise attack caught you off guard, old man. Instead of using an axe, he kicked straight into Yurand's head with his foot. After making him spit blood, Hyok felt it wasn't enough, so he punched him again, targeting Yurand's leg. That damn brat, that monster inside Yurand had truly awakened. He was furious like a chicken being slaughtered. Die? Then both faced off against each other, unsure of who would be quicker to claim victory. The match was becoming increasingly thrilling and hard to look away from, as Yurand's sword grazed past Hyok's head and he narrowly escaped death. With his agile and nimble body, Hyok managed to flip behind him to prepare for an ambush from the back. While Yurand was still unresponsive, Hyok executed a flashy landing on Yurand's back, making his insides feel like they were about to burst out. Yurand was incredibly angry that he couldn't defeat a kid, so he turned around furious. However, once he felt something sharp pressed against his neck, he stopped dead in his tracks, not daring to move. The fight ended here, and as we can see, Hyok achieved a very convincing victory. Mission accomplished. After witnessing Hyok's impressive performance, everyone was in awe, truly unbelievable. Did he really finish it in just 10 seconds? I'm shocked. Hyok Disciple donated 10,000,001. I knew you could do it. Do Hyokchu donated 11,000,001. Who's the fool thinking this was a safe bet? Seeing everyone so enthusiastically supporting him, Hyok felt incredibly grateful, thanking everyone. Although Yurand had just been defeated by Hyok, he still had to admit and praise his talent. What a solid hit. It felt like watching Odin's son. When everyone heard him praised with such a beautiful metaphor, they became excited. Odin's son is the highest praise among Vikings. Did Yurand really say that? Wow, respect at its peak worship right away. Yurand, very curious about this talented young man, spoke up to ask him, "What is your name, warrior blessed by Odin?" Under the warm sunlight, Hyok chose the brightest name among the remaining options, Gunnar, the main character of Rise of Valhalla. And how surprising it was that just after entering the scene, he received Yurand's recognition, a wonderful name truly worthy of a Viking. The mission was assigned. Woden is the embodiment of frenzy ruling over war and granting strength to people against their enemies. Gunnar, a great warrior, as if blessed by Odin, deserves the praise of many warriors. Perhaps the blood of All-Father Odin flows through him. The current goal is to gain the recognition of the warriors. 1 out of 5 completed. At this moment, Hyok was a bit surprised to receive the mission. There's a mission 2. This appeared so quickly. Did Yurand also assign the Odin's son mission amazing? Everyone, this has never been revealed before, right? Looks like Hyok is a special case. I think so. The first in the world. I've never seen Yurand assign it before. At this point, he was also curious, so is this a rare activation condition? With plenty of experience, Black Orc confirmed, yes, it's not a main mission, but a side mission. Not everyone can receive it. It's called the Odin's Son mission. If a person receives recognition from the warriors 5 times, they will earn the title of Odin's Son through this mission. Whether you have the title of Odin's Son or not is the deciding symbol of whether you're a true Valhalla warrior, and it seems Hyok is starting to understand everything now. From what Black Orc remembers, this isn't the first time the Odinson mission has appeared, but as far as I know, this is the first time it's been activated in the tutorial area. It's not that no one has ever defeated Yurand in the tutorial area, but Yurand has never been known to give out the Odinson mission. Perhaps the unlocking condition is related to the completion time. Since Hyok finished in 10 seconds, the threshold might be between 10 and 30 seconds. Defeating Yurand within that time frame will trigger the Odinson mission, and everything is gradually being revealed. Hearing that, Hyok deduced a bit, so there's a time limit too. Chukdai Jimoro donated 1,001, and from the start someone was called the Son of Odin, while Black Orc was still being called the Chef even after many rounds, which is impressive in its own way. Black Orc couldn't help but get frustrated and started arguing with them. It's not that I'm bad, but the axe is just... If you try it yourself, you'll understand Hyok is really a monster. Suddenly, he placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "That's right. Just like the Black Demon said, if you don't have better talent, don't use the axe." Black Orc's face looked like, "Who borrowed that? What did you just say?" Realizing his previous words might have been a bit harsh, he quickly corrected himself to avoid misunderstandings. "Oh, I didn't mean to say that Black Orc lacks talent, but handling the axe, I just think you don't really have the talent for that." The more he heard, the more frustrated Black Orc became. His face looked like he was about to send Hyok to hell. "What's the difference? How many more times do I have to say this, Black Orc? You lack talent crisis." He couldn't let everyone keep criticizing him like that, so Black Orc picked up his sword again. "Seriously, I will admit I lack talent if it comes from Hyok, but I refuse to hear that from you guys. This time I will earn Yurand's recognition with my own weapon." "You've switched to sword and shield. Her sword and shield are really powerful. That's right, without a shield, playing in realistic mode is truly hell." When Hyok saw Black Orc's determination to redeem himself, he supported him, "Good luck, Black Orc," which was the most half-hearted encouragement I've ever heard, the most insincere cheer in history. It felt like watching to see what you have up your sleeve. Was that gentle Hyok truly is his nemesis. Whatever he does, Black Orc feels like he's being pushed to the bottom of society. "Stop it, you're killing my motivation, I'm about to fight." Hyok's disciple donated 1,001, and actually Black Orc is still in the top 5 players in Valhalla. That's right, if it weren't for Hyok being on another level, Black Orc's strength is quite decent. Hearing their touching, tear-jerking encouragement, his spirit lifted significantly. Finally, he was recognized. "But it sounds like you're too happy. Shut up and fight, Black Orc. Damn it, just wait. I will prove I'm not inferior to Hyok and make you take back those words." Yurand was already ready with his blade waiting for him since the afternoon. "Have you drunk your mother's milk before trying again? Go ahead, rookie chef." And a familiar scene unfolded as Black Orc charged at him. "Just wait and see. I will make you take back those words." Damn it, I swear I've seen this scene before. He's repeating himself. Black Orc is doomed. As long as there's breath, there's hope. Now Black Orc and Yurand have another showdown, and he is determined to change everyone's perception of him this time. However, his first attack didn't go smoothly, and Black Orc quickly found himself on the defensive. "You're too weak if you want to break my defense." "Then make your attack heavier." He pulled his hand back tightly, preparing to deliver a devastating punch to Black Orc. But Black Orc with the axe is old news. Now it's Black Orc with the sword and shield. Having a commonly used weapon in hand, he was also more adept in combat. However, it seems Black Orc still needs a lot more training, as he was quickly knocked out by Yurand. This only made him feel more excited than ever. Yes, that is the fighting spirit I desire. The next second, while he still couldn't counterattack, Yurand cleverly delivered a kick to his stomach. Now this is getting interesting. While Black Orc was dazed in some fairyland, Yurand gripped the axe tightly and charged forward. "Let's have a real fight." Indeed, Black Orc was wise to choose the sword and shield as his weapons. A sturdy shield was exactly what helped him block the opponent's storm-like attacks. For now, he had no strength left to counterattack, so he could only focus on defense. But during that moment, Black Orc seized an opportunity and counterattacked Yurand. He was incredibly excited to see how you timed your moves so perfectly. "That was a pretty good trick. You're not bad at all." Sure enough, this time, Black Orc's attack strategy was precise and observant, but he still got hit like usual. However, this isn't over yet. His fighting spirit was so determined that he couldn't allow himself to stop. He had to keep swinging his sword forward. Damn, I'm Black Oak from Valhalla. Black Oak has some skills, but why is it so boring? Is he targeting Hyok? Surrounded by the aura of a victor, he spoke with a tone full of arrogance, but creating a sword and shield really made a difference. You controlled the distance better and used the shield more skillfully than just using an axe. But in an instant, he was knocked down to the ground by Yurand. It seems that Black Orc has a tough time winning this match. The axe was placed against his neck, marking Black Orc's official second defeat. Although Black Orc tried hard, he couldn't deny that he was still quite inexperienced. This is the end. But surprisingly, something very encouraging happened to him. Yurand acknowledged him. After all, changing weapons made you more useful. Today's practice session ends here. Everyone disperse. Hyok came over to help him up, thanking him for his hard work. Finally, he got recognized by Yurand. Before they left, Yurand had a question. Hey, you two, are you confident in your hunting skills? This must be a mission, Black Orc thought, so he raised his hand to volunteer. Of course, I'm also quite a skilled archer. Hearing that Yurand was very pleased and instructed them, all right then, join the hunting group and gather some food. Yes, understood. When the night sky enveloped the quiet space, they had hunted a total of 4 animals, and this time it was a rabbit. When it was just the 2 of them, Black Orc dared to ask Hyok, but you've just been watching. Have you ever shot a bow before? I used to shoot arrows before, but after thinking for a while, he replied, I've played with toy bows a few times, but this is my first time using a real bow. Since they had completed the mission and had nothing else to do, Black Orc suggested, so do you want to practice? Let's try aiming at that tree over there. Under Black Orc's guidance, Hyok picked up the bow and aimed carefully, first controlling his breath and then closing his eyes cautiously. After preparing thoroughly, he released his hand to let the arrow fly forward, shooting. However, since this was Hyok's first time holding a bow, he missed right from the first shot. What's this, did you miss? Indeed, no one is perfect. Hyok might be good at fighting, but when it comes to archery, he's still quite inexperienced. Even he has something he's not good at, right? If he's never shot before, it's really tough. I feel like after a few more tries, he'll get the hang of it. Seeing Hyok miss like that, Black Orc felt somewhat comforted and smiled brighter than the stars in the sky. So even Hyok has something he's not good at. Don't worry, I'll teach you how to shoot. At that moment, he couldn't help but feel proud of himself. Finally, he could brag a little. After all, I'm Robin Hood of Valhalla. It's Black Oak here. Just trust me, Hyok, I've got this. Look at him excited for doing well at something he's good at. But if he shoots 10 times, he'll miss 3 or 4 times. Yet no matter what anyone says, he's still very proud of himself. Hey, hitting that many is pretty impressive, right? But while they were chatting, a deer was standing behind the bushes. Upon the appearance of that 4-legged friend, Black Orc pushed Hyok aside to flex his skills a bit. That's a deer. Step aside, Hyok. He raised his bow, aiming straight at the deer. A bow is a weapon that takes time to master. When it's time to showcase the archery skills I've honed in Valhalla and medieval games. Shoot to hit, hit to kill. Everyone step aside so I can show off. After aiming carefully, his arrow flew forward. But surprisingly, the more he tried to show off, the more embarrassing it became. And indeed, Black Orc faced another shameful moment. He missed again. Shoot to hit, hit to kill. More like every shot misses. Hey, that deer is running away. While they were talking and got distracted, it took the opportunity to bolt. This time it was real. Black Orc intended to raise his bow and shoot again, but Hyok didn't give him any chance and pushed him aside. Forget about that, step aside a bit. Hyok is truly a creator. Instead of shooting arrows like usual, he directly throws an axe forward. The axe flies like a shooting star towards the deer, and in the next moment it sends the deer off to reunite with its ancestors. Indeed, Hyok always finds a clever way out of tough situations. He just killed it by throwing an axe. How the heck did he do that? That's impressive. And as always, Hyok feels that his recent action was completely normal, not too difficult. Just guess the target's movement and throw it there. It's easy. This guy throws axes so well it drives you crazy. The key to throwing an axe is just to throw it accurately, and they've completed their goal of hunting 5 animals. But that's not all. In the next moment, a notification appears, a raid mission. Hyok, a linked mission has just popped up. The Saxon soldiers are targeting the Viking stronghold. Although the Vikings haven't done anything to them, they are stirring things up first. A group of Vikings had already left, and now there are only about 10 enemies left there. Seeing the Viking camp thinning out, they plan to seize this opportunity to raid. Garrett, this is our chance, hurry, and report to the captain and keep an eye on them. After receiving the reconnaissance report, the Saxon army decides to attack, and the one leading them is a skilled Carolingian Saxon warrior. Those barbaric Vikings are targeting our land. Let's send them straight to hell. There's an enemy targeting the stronghold. Return to the camp before they arrive. That information has already been sent to them. The time until the raid is 7 minutes and 59 seconds. Until now, it has just been a welcoming show. Now their journey officially begins. It seems like the real game is starting now. The axe-wielding killer has donated 1,001. Killing them with an axe earns you 5,001 per head, huh? Hearing this, Hyok's fighting spirit skyrockets. Thanks for the mission, my axe-wielding brother. Black Orc, not wanting to waste more time here, calls him, then let's hurry back. I know the way, just follow me. Are you pretending to be a clueless golden deer, or are you really that naive? Hyok asks a question that digs deep. Where are we going back to? He turns back and answers Hyok's clueless question. We need to return to the stronghold. The longer we wait, the more Vikings will die. Instead of working hard, Hyok chooses to work smart. Can't we just ambush them on the way? I mean 5,001 per head. If other Vikings swoop in and steal them, that would be a waste. So that's why Hyok prefers guerrilla tactics over direct confrontation. However, upon hearing Hyok's suggestion, Black Orc feels his limbs go weak, sweat pouring down like rain. Hyok, there are about 20 enemies coming in this raid. Are you saying the two of us will take them all down? The axe-wielding killer has donated 1,001. This streamer's thinking is definitely different from ours, but to earn 5,001 per head, you can only use the axe, right? Are you really planning to solo all 20 of them? Is it really that fun? All right, let's go then. Seeing Hyok so determined, Black Orc silently prays, Wait, are you really going to do it? They quickly find a way to intercept them. The Saxons are still waiting for the right moment to attack. Everyone stay alert, we're almost at the enemy's base. But it seems they won't make it there because Hyok has already reached them. He immediately throws an axe forward. One of them gets hit in the head by the axe and collapses on the spot. The others are startled by the sudden ambush. It's an ambush. When they realize this isn't a safe place and someone is lurking, they quickly form a line to block all attack routes. Hyok and Black Orc take the opportunity while they're in disarray to reveal themselves. Is this all the Vikings there are? The Saxons rely on their numbers to overpower the two of them, but little do they know they're up against someone like Hyok who fears no one. What can you two fools do? Wait, you can't just charge in like that. Seeing that they've initiated the attack, the Carolingian commands his troops to charge forward. You must have lost your minds. Everyone charger. To be more precise, they've been surrounded by Hyok because just one Hyok is enough to handle this place. Every shot hits, and every hit is deadly. With his top-notch axe-throwing skills, he immediately throws an axe forward, and of course it pierces through their shield, leaving them in shock. Hyok looks so fierce right now. Indeed, he embodies the Viking spirit. He powerfully throws a punch right in the guy's face. As long as he holds his beloved axe, nothing is impossible for Hyok. He can wipe the map clean with just his dual axes. It's true that your strikes are still as decisive and sweet as ever, and in no time, Hyok picked up his first 5,001 and stuffed it into his pocket. Getting rich isn't hard when these Saxons are nothing to Hyok. He can easily dodge their attacks. They're doomed. The price for messing with Hyok is a friendly punch on the cheek from him. And just like that, each one had to endure Hyok's thunderous punches, everything happening in the blink of an eye. With his incredibly skilled punches, only a few Saxons were left standing, but they weren't foolish enough to engage him, or they'd face a truly disastrous end. Carolingian saw that his soldiers hadn't even reached the Vikings and were nearly wiped out, and he shouted in a furious state like a chicken being slaughtered, "Can't you stop? Hey, Black Oak, what are you doing? Aren't you going to fight?" He hadn't lifted a finger until now, but finally decided to charge in. "I'm going in. This time through the elite warrior Carol, I will prove my strength." Of course, he didn't want to be a shadow of Hyok, so he joined the fight. Having taken down 6 soldiers already, Hyok was raking in the cash, having earned 3,00001. He was a bit worried about how Black Oak was doing. Was this a disaster? He wasn't sure if Black Oak was holding up well. And just as he feared, Black Orc was struggling, wrestling with a few soldiers. He was truly a burden to Hyok. "Wait, Hyok, help me!" But Hyok tossed a huge chunk of butter to him and let him fend for himself. Black Orc seemed to be okay. However, the truth was he was about to be sacrificed, and Black Oak shouted, "What the hell are you talking about? Help me, I'm about to die." He was still alive, so just drink up. At least do your part, Black Oak. While Black Orc was getting beaten to a pulp, unable to tell up from down, Hyok only focused on the soldiers. "I'll concentrate on reducing their numbers first, you bastards." But in the meantime, one fool swung a knife at him, and of course Hyok dodged it. "You're dead." In response to his action, Hyok sent him straight to heaven with a beautifully executed slash. Each of Hyok's sweet strikes, like slicing fruit, sent each soldier down to the Golden River, and now only Carolingian remained feeling 3 parts helpless and 7 parts like a mother watching her troops get wiped out. They truly weren't worthy opponents for him, so the first thing to do when facing Hyok is to run away, not stubbornly stay. His eyes were filled with determination, and Hyok would wipe this place clean without leaving a single survivor. The surviving soldiers were just starting to feel extreme fear in the face of his terrifying strength. But even so, it was too late now. Each one would face the same fate, and none would escape. It's insane. Hyok has wiped them all out himself, just 6 left. After a whirlwind of slashing like a killing machine, he was about to complete his goal. Everyone was also wondering, why are the NPCs so scared? If I were one of those soldiers, I would have wet my pants long ago. This is a game, but are these NPCs really scared? Even Hyok couldn't explain this bizarre phenomenon. Are they really about to run away? Carolingian, busy facing Black Orc, noticed the scene and reminded them, "What are you doing? Don't be scared, charge." But for some reason, they were throwing their swords to the ground, surrendering. "I can't do this! Run, that guy is a monster! At this rate, we're all gonna die!" And so they left everything behind and ran like they were being chased by dogs. Oh, they're scattering in all directions, but if we're going to take them down, we have to do it right. Hyok can't just let them go easily. I can't let them escape. As soon as he finished speaking, he didn't hesitate and threw the axe forward. It flew with incredible speed, almost sending them off to meet their ancestors. In no time, one of them had his head taken off, and the guy next to him stared in horror, his eyes wide open in disbelief. At that moment, he must have reached the peak of terror, mouth agape and eyes rolling back on the verge of tears. And this is the price they have to pay for messing with Hyok. One by one, he dealt with them in a flash, a single shot to take them out. Did he really think he could escape? But what if you run out of axes? How can you chase them down? Well, necessity breeds ingenuity. Hyok didn't hesitate and immediately pulled out a bow. Let's give this a shot. Using a bow. So does that mean the axe mission ends here? As he drew the bow and aimed forward, he replied, "No, I have a plan." However, after witnessing his previous failed shot that missed everything, everyone was a bit apprehensive this time. But your archery skills are just terrible. The rumors online were spot on. Hyok's arrow not only missed the target, but also buried itself in the ground. Just as expected. "What are you doing? Where are you aiming?" After those shots that went straight into the ground, he thought it over and came to a realization. Now I get it. Failure is the mother of success. He didn't give up and continued to draw the bow. This time, let's do it right. Giving up is not an option. That's not how you shoot a bow. But this time, Hyok aimed accurately and used more force to shoot. One guy went down first. "Last time you guys criticized me. Are you regretting it now?" Hyok's archery skills have leveled up to a whole new height. Hyok carefully calculated the arrow's trajectory to hit his leg precisely, just hitting the leg like this. The arrow pierced through that guy's leg, making him scream in pain, and his movement was severely restricted. At this moment, everyone realized something was different. Don't tell me all of this was planned out in advance. But things weren't that simple. The arrow kept digging deeper, causing him to scream in agony. "Are you crazy? Is this even effective?" As that guy collapsed to the ground, unable to fight back any longer, Hyok rushed in from behind, raising the axe high, ready to finish him off. In this moment, so close to death, the soldier begged him helplessly and in pain, "Please spare me." But for him, there were no exceptions. Hyok pinned him down and used the axe to send him off to the afterlife, finishing him off. After dealing with that guy, he suddenly turned around and saw another one still alive, crawling forward, trying to escape. He saw Hyok turn around and panicked, trying to back away as much as possible. "No, don't come here." The next moment, death officially knocked on that guy's door. He was immediately sent off to meet his ancestors with a terrified, helpless expression. That night, the serene moonlight above and the quiet atmosphere were shattered by the screams of fear from the soldiers led by Carolingian. After wiping out the soldiers cleanly and neatly, Hyok felt that this battle wasn't too hard at all. Too easy, right? You said you just shot a couple of times and became proficient. Sounds like a lie, like Jumong Reborn. Oh my God. You've always been terrible at archery. How come you can do this now? Hyok didn't think much and said nonchalantly, "Bow, I just tried shooting a few times and it worked. He always says it's easy, just do it and you'll succeed." Seriously, he's a genius. But after playing cat and mouse with these little shrimp for a while, he remembered one thing: Carol is the only one left. Hyok is really terrible for letting Black Orc struggle alone with the leader. I'm dead. Hyok don't just stand there and watch. After a while of swinging his sword around, he still showed no signs of exhaustion and was still very much in the fight. What do you think you're looking at? He got beaten up badly, and Hyok not only didn't help him, but just stood outside watching and judging. Oh man, that's not how you should act. The fierce leader swung his sword. Black Orc fought back resolutely, unafraid. Just when they were watching a good show, Hyok noticed something. Black Orc was dodging blows while turning to plead for help, still standing there. Please save me. Right after that, his shield was shattered by the leader's strike. Not good. It seems like Black Orc is really in trouble now since his sword has broken in half. If Hyok doesn't save him, he's definitely going to be in for a rough time. Now he could only stand there covering his face and screaming loudly. But at least Hyok still had some humanity. He rushed in between them and blocked Carol's attack. Seeing his fight interrupted by a third party, Carol screamed in rage like a chicken being slaughtered. Not wanting to linger here any longer, Hyok swung his axe at Carol to end everything right there. With his superior combat skills, he took on both Black Orc and successfully completed the mission of wiping them out. Finally, after a period of fighting, they could take a moment to rest. The raid mission was complete. He cleaned everything up himself. I'm really shocked. My buddy needs a change of underwear. At that moment, Hyok slowly approached Black Orc and asked about his condition. Are you okay? He looked up with his scratched face and gritted his teeth in frustration. You could have helped sooner. In response to Black Orc's reproach, he just smiled nonchalantly as if nothing had happened. I'm sorry, I thought you didn't need help. At Hyok's cold remark, he couldn't help but feel confused, Hyok then explained in a whiny tone, but what he said next sounded like a punch to the face. Usually people get angry if you take their lives right. It's not like it was an emergency or anything. Hearing Hyok's careless words, Black Orc was furious and pointed at his face. So if it wasn't an emergency, then what is it? He continued to respond with a line that would bury him. At least there should be an arm severed or guts hanging out. The monster inside Black Orc had truly awakened. He opened his mouth wide as if he wanted to bite Hyok's head off right there, then just kill him already. At least one of his 12 guts should be out. He couldn't bear to hear anything coming from Hyok's mouth anymore and started to cry. If you don't want to help, then just get out of here. Meanwhile, a group of people was rushing towards them. He turned around and was a bit startled to recognize them, Yurand. With his hot-tempered nature, he said nothing and shoved Black Orc aside, running forward. Get out of the way. There was definitely no discrimination here. Yurand threw a huge chunk of butter at Black Orc and ran towards Hyok. Are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? I'm fine. I'm okay. Seeing him being cared for like that, Black Orc immediately put on his pitiful act. Yurand, I'm here too. He must have been a monster attacking planets in a past life, because now Black Orc was being trampled mercilessly by Yurand's remaining subordinates, Lord Yurand. They continued to chat casually without paying any attention to the poor boy named Black Orc, who was curled up in a corner with no enemies left in the area. Gunner, are you hurt? Damn it, I have to log out today. By the time Hyok remembered his existence, Black Orc had already logged out due to too much damage. I'm fine, but Black Orc has logged out. However, Yurand paid no attention to him and only cared about his favorite. I'm just glad you're not hurt. Why do I feel so pitiful? Suddenly, Hyok remembered something. Is this the end of the tutorial? I heard that the open world starts from here. As he looked up at the sky with many questions in his mind, a surprise appeared. What should I do now? The Eclipse user requested a mission worth 500,001. If you defeat Stonefist Beowolf with your current gear, I'll add another 500. Time left 11 hours and 59 minutes. The mission reward is 1,000,001. Is it already taken by the chairman? Although Hyok wasn't sure how tough this mission would be, he was determined to complete it because he was a slave to money. I don't even know who Beowolf is, but for 1,000,001, I'll give it my all. However, Yurand expressed his hesitation about Hyok's mission. Wait, are you planning to fight Beowolf alone? That might be a bit too much for you. While he was still confused, Yurand made a proposal for cooperation. There's no other way. I'll join you. We can recruit teammates now. Hyok didn't quite understand the benefits of this, but what's so great about recruiting teammates? They only show up and help when you blow the horn. After some consideration, he couldn't bring himself to refuse and agreed. I get it, let's go together, big brother. That's a wise decision. They didn't hesitate any longer and set off right away. Hey, get the horses ready? Yes, big brother. After that, Yurand and Hyok rode off on their horses, charging forward with a conquering spirit. While riding, he had the question and asked him, "But who is Beowulf Stone Fist Beowulf?" With his extensive experience, Yurand casually introduced him. He was once a Denger serving the king, but after the king's death, he lost his honor. It's surprising that someone who once stood at the pinnacle of glory has now become a disgrace. I heard he's somewhere in West Sussex plundering nearby villages. He's lost now, but Beowulf was once a famous warrior among those who carried the banner of Ragnar. A great warrior seemingly blessed by Odin. Someone like you could lead him back to Valhalla. The current goal is to gain recognition from 5 warriors, find Beowulf, and earn the recognition of 1 warrior, and that's also his next objective. You could say it's a lofty vision, a perfect mission completion time. After traveling quite a distance, they finally stopped at a cliff. We've arrived. That's Beowulf's camp. In front of them was a small camp guarded by 2 soldiers at the gate. Once they arrived, they began to plan their attack. He handed Hyok a horn and said, "I have an old connection with Beowulf, so I'll wait here. If you need my strength, blow this horn." With his quick and decisive nature, he jumped on his horse and charged straight towards the camp. "Got it, I'll go ahead. You can't just rush in like that." There are dozens of robbers in that camp. One of the guards, seeing Hyok flying towards them, looked confused. He had never been afraid of anyone, so this time he would sweep this place clean without leaving anyone behind. "So I have to defeat all of them to find Beowulf. Can't you sneak in and take out Beowulf to complete the mission?" The 2 guards, seeing someone invading from outside, raised their spears at him with hostile looks. "Stop right there." But no matter how overwhelming their numbers were, he didn't flinch. A brave Viking warrior doesn't back down from sneak attacks. Inside, another guard turned towards the gate when he heard the commotion outside. In a split second before disaster struck, Hyok had already passed the guards at the gate and crashed through the gate, charging inside. Everyone inside was in chaos as they were suddenly ambushed from outside an attack. Now that he had gotten used to the bow, he pulled it out and showcased his archery skills without using the axe anymore. Hyok was no longer a novice. Now he hit every shot, causing enemies to bleed wherever he aimed. Just stepping inside, Hyok had already sent quite a few enemies to their doom. Some tried to escape, but they couldn't outrun his godly arrow speed. The remaining ones gathered into a group, gripping their spears tightly, ready to charge at him, kill him, stab him. Even though the main target is Hyok, his horse, the one he named Shukana is the first target to be taken down. And now he has to abandon the horse and fight on his own. Surprised, old man? They never expected that he had lured them into attacking the horse so he could leap into the air and shoot them from above. To make it quick and efficient, he fired 3 arrows at once instead of just 1. You think you can just die? Those who are targeted by Hyok can only stand still and wait for death to call their names. They're bound to be taken down. After shooting without missing a single shot, causing them to bleed profusely, he landed on the ground with great arrogance. At that moment, another guy approached Hyok from behind, and it seemed like he wouldn't attack him first. As expected, he ordered the others to defend instead of attacking right away, raising their shields. Seeing this, Hyok just scoffed, unafraid. "Shields, huh? No more using cowardly weapons." Hyok immediately threw his bow to the ground and switched to another weapon. It seems today is their unlucky day because he has returned with his trusty weapon from now on. "We'll settle this fight with an axe." Hyok raised his shiny axe forward, promising a bloody feast tonight. They really don't know their limits. Instead of running away, they picked up their weapons to fight Hyok, trying to kill him. With his agile and flexible body, he easily dodged all their attacks. Standing out among a crowd of soldiers were his swift, decisive movements and attacks. Even though they outnumbered Hyok, they still felt incredibly tense and struggled while fighting him. Although everyone was equipped with shields, they couldn't avoid being attacked by his axe. Indeed, Hyok had a very aggressive and relentless fighting style. They only had the advantage in numbers, but each of them had poor fighting and movement skills. One of them exposed his weakness. And in an instant, Hyok seized that opportunity to send him to meet the Grim Reaper, blood splattering into the air from his powerful slash. Meanwhile, behind him, another guy raised his sword high, ready to strike Hyok the bastard. But the moment he spotted that guy behind him was also the moment that guy met his death. With a fierce look in his eyes, Hyok charged at him and pushed him away with great force. The surviving ones realized that close combat with him was not promising, so they changed their strategy and started shooting arrows at Hyok. However, with his wrinkled brain, he used the body of the fallen comrade as a shield against their arrows. He was skewered by his own teammates, his face contorted in pain, but the others showed no sign of stopping and kept shooting. Once he was no longer useful to Hyok, he threw him straight at them without mercy. One gray-haired guy among them was extremely annoyed and shouted, "Do you think you can use such cheap tricks here?" Whether it's cheap or not, he would find out in the next moment. Hyok immediately aimed at that gray-haired guy, darting past the others to approach him. Indeed, his mouth got him into trouble. That gray-haired guy's words led him to meet the Grim Reaper sooner. The monster within Hyok had truly awakened, and now he was ready to take down the gray-haired guy. In this moment of life and death, he shouted 2 words, hoping to be saved from Hyok's gleaming axe, leader. Right away, his call was answered, and an axe appeared out of nowhere, spinning like a top. Just as Hyok was about to finish off the gray-haired guy, he had to halt and block the axe flying towards him. Indeed, the final boss had really shown up to prepare for a fight with him. A huge foot slowly stepped out from inside. Just by looking at the way he walked, one could tell this was no ordinary person. And finally, the person Hyok truly wanted to have a proper fight with revealed himself. That was enough. Beowolf was here, he was really here. The gray-haired guy, seeing him appear, smiled brightly as if he had seen a savior drop down from the sky. The leader was indeed the one, he was the one. And his mouth got him into trouble again. Hyok shouted at the gray-haired guy to shut him up. Shut your mouth! Seeing Hyok suddenly infiltrate the camp at this late hour and kill his comrades, Beowolf was furious, that bastard. When he saw his target had arrived, he was eager to complete the mission immediately. There was no time to waste. Let's do this right now. Coincidentally, he also used an axe as his main weapon. Beowolf swung his axe down powerfully onto the ground as a warning. You little brat! Surely you want to die not wanting to be on the defensive. He dashed forward to take the initiative in the attack. Beowolf's eyes lit up like a predator spotting its prey. Meanwhile, Hyok stood still because he was a relaxed guy. I will make you regret this. Meanwhile, another player was having an intense battle with his opponent. Anatol won. It had been a while since he saw everyone. Why did you just come back now? It had been a long time since Anatol streamed live, and his fans were thrilled about his comeback. This was his first live stream since the Iron Fist World Tournament a few days ago, right? That's right, it's a pity you only made it to the semifinals. How's your spirit? Are you okay? In response to their concern, Anatol revealed his situation. I'm fine, I took a few days off to recharge. He clenched his fists, remembering the time he was at the peak of glory. Back in Ultimate Fighter, everyone used to say it was obvious Anatol would win the World Championship. He used to win world titles as if they were nothing. But in the Iron Fist tournament, his best record was only reaching the semifinals. Anatol's skill level was inconsistent with a gap between the 2 games. However, despite that, he was still trying every day to transform into a swan. Still, he couldn't give up that easily, reminding himself of his roots. With the current viewership at 38,217, Anatol made a very enticing suggestion. Why don't we take a trip back home today? Saying that, he immediately started the game. Iron Fist was closed, Ultimate Fighter was booting up, and Anatol was preparing to reminisce about old memories. However, this decision caused the viewership to drop nearly in half, from 31,345 to 17,041. Look at the viewership drop, he said, looking around at the game environment after being away from it for a while. It's been a long time. I think it's been a year since I last logged into Ultifight. Then he snapped his fingers using his old account to go Hoken. The fighter Hoken right away, Anatol donned a new cool look and officially returned to this game. Anatol couldn't wait any longer and immediately looked for an opponent. Let's queue up for a match. Come on, find a match. It received his command and began searching, looking for a match. On the other side, Ji-an and Hyok were watching his amazing fight highlights together. Appa, your reaction this time is really wild. Look at this. That mountain attack video still gives me chills. It doesn't mean anything at all. After editing, it looks like a genius's video compilation. The video views were 102,000. What a crazy counterattack. Isn't that a skill? It's surprising he did it all manually. Ji-an was glued to the screen, wondering, is there already a meme from his live stream? After watching it back and forth for a while, she turned to him with a bright face and said, at this rate, your live stream will be even better even without me. But that means you need to work even harder. Got it. No matter how hard I tried in Hyok Ji-an's eyes, I was still the one who contributed more. After all, it was all thanks to me, Ji-an. Today you worked hard managing my live stream. After a long, tiring day, she stretched and yawned, saying, what a hassle anyway, I'm off to bed. You should get some rest too, Appa. However, at that moment, Hyok wasn't really in the mood to curl up in bed. Instead, he suggested, it feels like a waste to go to sleep tonight. How about we try Iron Fist since it's trending? Let's stick to the plan and reach the super elite level in Ultifight first. If I win one more match, I'll become a grandmaster, right? After some consideration, he decided to head into his room. But the friend request I sent to that female swordsman, every time I checked, she was always offline. Did she quit the game? At that moment, he suddenly remembered Chol's existence. Then Hyok sat down at the computer and started up anyway the comm was beginning full dive. Full dive into the game lobby, the ranked match was searching for opponents. As soon as he entered the comm, helped him find a suitable match. Soon after, Hyok was matched up and the match began. The first champion of the instant noodle cooking competition, huh? Hyok glanced at the stats and was a bit puzzled. 0 wins, 0 losses. Is this an old account revived after a long absence? He didn't think too much about it and clicked the accept button. After all, he was already in. It turned out that Hyok's opponent this time was Anatol, and the match began with a record of 21 wins and 0 losses. The player's name Ho was a bit shady, a 100% win rate. That means they are somewhere between Grandmaster and Super Elite. This could be someone's alternate account, don't you think? Isn't that the guy from that female swordsman's live stream? Wait, that guy who's always trolling? Hearing this, Anatol looked confused, asking, "What's a troll?" People quickly enlightened him. An unknown master had destroyed the female swordsman live on air. I watched that live stream. That guy was ridiculously good. I almost died laughing. It was hilarious. Someone on the forum said their faces looked a lot like Beyond, but that's nonsense. After hearing that, Anatol found it quite interesting. Oh, really? Then Anatol immediately clicked the accept button to test his skills directly against him. So he likes playing the anonymous master pretending to be an ordinary person, huh? Let's see if they can pull that off in front of me. Now Anatol was fully prepared for the battle with Hyok. The mysterious master was about to appear. He cracked his knuckles a bit, filled with excitement, wondering if he could really guess who he was. Then Anatol immediately got into a ready stance, saying, "Come on, let's fight." However, Hyok didn't rush in, but pointed forward, making him question what was going on. He didn't want to be the first to strike, so he provoked him instead. "Why don't you make the first move?" Starting with psychological warfare right from the beginning, huh? But Anatol found the previous provocation quite ridiculous and said, "Are you looking down on me? I'll make you swallow those words." And thus, Hyok successfully made him attack first. It had been a while since Anatol had the chance to return and showcase his skills, so he started with a powerful punch towards Hyok. He quickly followed up with a strong kick, but luckily for him, he managed to duck just in time to avoid a deadly blow. Suddenly, in the next moment, Anatol grabbed Hyok's ankle. Without hesitation, he tossed him into the air. Indeed, this was a very unexpected attack. Not stopping there, Anatol prepared another attack for him. At this moment, Hyok still hadn't stabilized his stance, so he could only raise his hands to block. Even though I managed to block some of it, I have to admit that Anatol's punch was truly impressive. He couldn't help but grit his teeth, his face scrunched up like a monkey eating chili, thinking how could he have blocked that move? And it was time for Hyok to shine with a straight punch right to his face after letting Anatol show off for long enough. Hyok's kick to Anatol's face felt like kicking a soccer ball. After tasting the pain, he fell freely to the ground. After making Anatol taste the dirt, Hyok wasn't done yet. He poured all his strength into his arm and prepared to throw another blow. He looked up and saw himself about to ascend, his eyes wide in shock. But despite feeling a bit panicked, Anatol kept a clear head and managed to dodge to the side, escaping death in the nick of time. How could this be? Even after a year, Anatol was still being pushed back. Hoken was once the main choice in the early stages of Anatol Alpha, but it seems his performance is now a bit concerning. Anatol's instincts seemed to have died. It looks like he had let his guard down for a while, and Hyok's eyes were filled with a deadly glare directed at him. At that moment, Anatol stood still, pondering for a bit, not daring to rush in again. Letting his guard down meant losing his edge, and his moves were just a part of it. In their recent exchange, there was something else, a strange feeling of unease. If he couldn't figure out what that was, he would lose. After thinking carefully for a while, Anatol charged forward. First, he had to test his reaction, a feint attack. It was just a fake move. The real attack was a low counterstrike. It seems he had switched to strategy instead of focusing solely on fighting strength. Got him! He thought he had tricked Hyok, but in the next second he lifted his knee, catching him off guard. It seems Anatol is still quite inexperienced. Come on, he's too familiar with these tricks, so he returned the favor with a punch. Anatol immediately backed away to maintain distance from Hyok. What the heck? He counterattacked at close range. Was it just luck? While he was still like a confused deer trying to understand what was happening, Hyok charged at him again. When fighting Hyok, Anatol always had to keep his head on a swivel, never letting his guard down. He quickly dodged his head to the side. And with his other hand, Anatol punched upward, but Hyok reacted quickly and blocked it. You think you can get away with this? Hyok taught him a lesson by striking at his joints with his own hand. Seizing the opportunity while Anatol was off balance, he punched him right under the chin, nearly knocking him out. It looks like this is going to be tough for Anatol. He seems to be reading all of my attack timings. If I lose this round, I'll try another strategy. He didn't give up and immediately tried a different move, so let's see if I can hit him from his blind spot behind his shoulder. But no matter what Anatol did, Hyok could dodge it as easily as Pi because he was just too skilled. Not stopping there, Hyok used the momentum from the previous strike to launch Anatol far away, leaving him stunned and flat on his back. He couldn't believe that Hyok would use that skill, the reverse Iron Mountain. No way a counterattack without any preparation. In the Alpha skill system, the reverse Iron Mountain only activates after a special thrust position. It's possible to skip that position when using the skill, but that would throw off the timing and prevent him from unleashing that kind of power. Anatol couldn't explain this bizarre phenomenon in his mind. What on earth is happening? Is Anatol being crushed? Is he losing in close combat? Is this even real? While he was still bewildered, Hyok landed on the ground surrounded by a sea of flames. It seems the battle between the two has reached a boiling point, neither willing to back down. All around Hyok, he can only see a fierce flame rising, looking quite terrifying. That's the Crimson Kick. At this moment, Anatol has no choice but to go all in against him. There's no turning back now. Damn, the energy from the Crimson Kick is blocking his escape route. And then came the decisive blow, a finishing move that forced his opponent into a one-sided confrontation. How could he use such a wide-range skill at such close distance? On Anatol's face was an unexpected admiration for how bold Hyok was. Then he attacked as soon as he noticed a gap in the offense, an opening. This is my chance. The Crimson Kick is powerful, but after that move, he couldn't retract it. The opportunity has come. As long as he can read the timing of the move, dodging this attack would be as easy as pie. After being hit multiple times, he has finally learned to read Hyok's moves. Then he would take advantage of the cooldown of the Crimson Kick to deliver a fatal blow. Both of them were now throwing punches at each other, unsure of who would come out on top. On Anatol's face was a bright, confident smile. Victory belonged to him. But it wasn't going to be that easy. Hyok didn't attack as he expected. Instead, he did the opposite, catching Anatol off guard. Could it be that he was using the Crimson Kick in reverse? That's not the Crimson Kick, I know, and just like that, he took the full brunt of Hyok's incredibly painful Crimson Kick. After being tossed around like a rag doll, Anatol finally got a bit smarter, realizing he had to manually input each move to avoid skill penalties. Now he understands that strange feeling. The next moment, he was hit with a merciless straight punch. This guy had never held back. Relying on automatic movement adjustments for the first time, the technique that had caused countless opponents to fail was now on display. Hyok unleashed a flurry of punches at Anatol so fast that it felt like he was multiplying and attacking him from all sides. Logging into his home turf, Hoken wins, and Hyok once again secured a convincing victory. You've got some skills there. That last counter was slick. Is today the day for Alpha Anatol to hang up his gloves? Even until the match ended, Anatol still couldn't comprehend it. No way is it really possible to activate skills with absolute precision without any errors. I need to confirm this, so he made a proposal to Hyok. One more match, please. If you want it, I'll oblige. Hyok didn't hesitate to agree. All right, let's go. With his hot-headed nature, Anatol charged forward to attack Hyok. All right, I'm coming at you. And the next moment, they were back in another chaotic match. And after a whirlwind of moves, the result was in. As expected, Hyok won decisively once again. After trying again, Anatol still got beaten to a pulp, barely finding his way home. He almost lost. He still didn't give up, stubbornly wanting to test his skills one more time. Just one more match, please, just one more. Seeing that Anatol still hadn't learned his lesson, Hyok accepted the challenge once more. And so they continued to spar round 2, round 3, both of them full of energy, neither willing to back down. And guess what? Anatol was still getting hit by Hyok, as usual, getting his skull crushed. Even if they fought until next year, Hyok would still win impressively without any controversy. That's 5 consecutive matches now. Let's call it a day. I'm out of here. After fighting with all their might, they were both exhausted like a fish out of water. 5 wins. What's my record now? A total of 26 wins and 0 losses. Winning just one more time will level me up to the celestial realm. If I reach that level, I'll meet even more interesting opponents. And if the viewers know I'm playing Alpha Fighter, I'm still a newbie streamer and have to say see you tomorrow on the stream. If I'm caught playing another game solo, I'll get flamed. Hyok reminded himself to be extremely cautious, so he needed to hide his identity for as long as possible, then reveal it when he reaches rank 1 in Ultimate Fighter. I set my basic information and appearance to private right. It confirmed yes until you change the settings. Everyone in Ultimate Fighter will see you with the appearance below. Do you want to switch to your real look? Who would have guessed that your in-game appearance is completely different from your handsome CEO look in real life? However, Hyok had no intention of changing his appearance in the game. No, I'll keep it like this, cancel the appearance change. Anyway, if Alpha is that happy, Iron Fiat, the king of fighting games, must be even more exciting. Then he made a decision. To prepare for that, he should befriend people like Ramyeon. Kam sent a friend request to Ramyeon. Do you want to include a message hearing that Hyok thought for a moment since Ramyeon is quite skilled? To encourage him and motivate him to improve, then it is, I wonder what he plans to write that made Hyok smile mischievously. After losing several matches to Hyok, Anatol found a quiet place to train again. You have a new message. You have talent. I sent a friend request, let's play again when you're free. The current viewers are 22,176. Anatol said you have talent. This guy is crazy. He looked pale when he knocked on his door. Accept the friend request, so next time you can smoke him again. Anatol's face became so awkward. Who would have thought he would hear that in Ultifight? Anatol, so you just donated 10001. So who do you think he is? After many matches with Hyok, Anatol couldn't figure him out. Honestly, I have no clue about that guy at all. Then he suddenly wanted to review their battle process. By the way, do you want to watch the match footage? Here's that moment, the brilliant moonlight kick. Watching it again is still horrifying, right? That was without support, right? That's why Anatol got hit. Really, the moonlight kick is hard to execute. This guy is really crazy. Everyone was astonished by his godly skills. However, Hyok still hadn't unleashed all his strength and techniques. Otherwise, Anatol would probably have no teeth left to eat porridge. It's not just that kick. If all his techniques were used without support, the chat would explode, right? I thought I had a good grasp of this game, but it turns out there's still a vast ocean of hard training. Anatol clenched his fists, determined to take revenge one day soon. At this moment, he also realized the things he had missed before. Perhaps that's why he struggled in Iron Fist lately. Maybe the answer lies here. All right, I'll stop watching here. When Anatol turned off the video, everyone still felt they didn't want to stop. What's up? I want to see a detailed analysis, too. Suddenly, Anatol smiled slyly as if he was harboring some intention. There's no way I'm taking the hits alone if I don't post this footage. The other bastards will also run into him and get slapped down. It's better to keep this secret for now, so only Anatol knows about this and no one else. Anatol isn't evil. Those who are evil usually live comfortably. He stood with his hands on his hips and smiled contentedly. Let them all experience being destroyed by him. Did you guys watch the match where Anatol fought? The way he befriended Anatol and said, let's play again is really funny. He's already got a punching bag? Huh? Hearing those words about his brother Jian couldn't help but slam her hand on the table in frustration. Seriously, what kind of stupid user is that? Seeing Hyok being so blatantly overshadowed made her heart burn like fire. The whole forum is talking about him. If it weren't for that guy, her brother would have been in the best moments footage. No matter what, Jian still believes in Hyok. It's just that he's been hating grinding Valhalla lately, but when he logs back in, he'll show that guy. To ensure his ranking process goes smoothly, she decided to lend him a hand. All right, I'll take care of maintaining his rank so he doesn't drop. At least I need to manage the leaderboard. At this moment, she suddenly remembered Hyok's absence. Honestly, I told that guy to go to the convenience store. I wonder if he's back yet. Hyok was on his way to the convenience store, feeling extremely annoyed at being turned into his little sister's errand boy. This kid, if she craves banana milk that much, she should go buy it herself. Well, whatever. I'm only going because of this card. Might as well grab some snacks, too. However, as Hyok walked in, he bumped into a little boy wearing glasses. At first glance, it seemed like the boy was still a student. After the boy fell, a sealed knife fell out from inside. Seeing that, Hyok stopped and sat down to check on the student. Are you okay? Can you get up? I don't know what the boy has been through, but he was covered in bruises and scratches. Yes, I'm sorry. However, after taking a closer look, Hyok was taken aback to recognize this familiar figure. Please don't tell me it's Jegal Min, right? Seeing a stranger who knows his name, the boy was startled and asked, How do you know my nickname? Who are you? Nothing happens by chance. To understand why he knows, we have to go back to the time when Hyok hadn't returned yet. Is it really Jegal Min, the sharp strategist who once served under me? Old memories suddenly flashed back in Hyok's mind like a slow-motion film. In the early days of the apocalypse, we gathered those with weaker abilities and formed the Wolf Pack. I led Team 13. And the one who planned all the activities for Team 13 was none other than Min, the big-eared strategist. You always envied those big guys like him, didn't you? Shut up, you little brat, Hyok retorted to the girl's words. Here we go again. Who let that guy drink come on, Captain, don't nag her too much. A muscular blonde girl then hugged Min and teased, our strategist needs a little booze to get that brain working smoothly, right? Right, big ears. However, he didn't like being seen as a kid, so he pushed her away and said, come on, all you adults keep calling me cute and treating me like a child. It's the same everywhere. But in Manchi's eyes, Min was still just an adorable little boy. Our big-eared friend is surprisingly strong, I told you to stop, damn it. Not stopping there, another Hwada poked fun at him. You too stop it. Can't you see he hates it? Honestly, wouldn't it make more sense for you to cooperate with me? With her hot-headed nature, Manchi pulled out an enormous hammer. Get lost, you quack! The green-haired girl didn't want to stir the pot, so she just walked away. Fine, I'll keep my mouth shut. She turned her face to a corner, muttering curses at herself. Damn it, that brat with the unpredictable temper. I thought I was going to pee my pants. Where is she looking for Min? Then Hyok, holding a small spoon in his hand, pointed far away, over there. You know what she does when she's drunk, right? Climbing up somewhere high and standing there looking forlorn in the wind like a tragic hero. Although it's a bit odd, it shows her strong fighting spirit. But Manchi was worried about Min's safety, so she urged, not again, Min. I won't tease you anymore. Okay, come down, it's dangerous up there. But it seemed he didn't listen to her and just stood there deep in thought, Captain. If I were as big and strong as you, Hyok sat quietly, letting him speak his heart out. Would they bully you less, standing under the bright moonlight, but Min's mood felt like it was drowning in darkness. He stood still up high, feeling an overwhelming sense of guilt inside. If only I had... Then maybe this eye... In the next moment, Min abruptly pulled down the cloth covering one of his eyes, revealing a completely destroyed dark eye socket. That was the reason he felt so insecure and guilty. And my brother, maybe I shouldn't have lost him like this? If you were as strong as me, Captain strong enough to face those alien monsters without even needing strength, Hyok patiently listened to him pour out his heartfelt words. Min at this moment was still tormenting himself. Then I could protect everyone. That's why, Captain, if only in the past. But before he could finish, Min fell down below. He must have been too drunk. Luckily, Hwata arrived in time to catch him. Damn if you can't handle your liquor. Remember to drink less. Every time you get drunk, you climb up high and cry about the past. Meanwhile, another member of the team came looking for him, Captain Geico. After scouting the situation, he reported, I found their forward base. They're hiding at the crazy girl's place he's dating. Hearing this, Hyok placed his hand on his sword and made a directive decision. Then it's time for us to act. Let's get big ears for Hwata and wake up old Mangtae. After finalizing what to do next, they equipped themselves with all the gear and set off. Let's attack quickly and cleanly. Breakfast is ready at the base. But what awaits us there, life isn't a dream. They were ambushed. It was a trap. A trap set by the alien monsters targeting the human resistance forces with an entire division of alien soldiers and 2 warrior-level enemies. Unfortunately, because of this surprise ambush, quite a few people had to stay behind, including Geico. Salgai, in just a moment, countless lives were sacrificed and humanity suffered significant losses in manpower. The survivors kept fighting, charging forward recklessly. Guang Nyo had lost her mind battling a warrior-level alien. She was losing control, nearing her limits. The situation looked bleak. The captain and the old man were severely injured, and they were not capable of fighting right now. And Min, with an indomitable spirit, couldn't just stand by and watch. So as the acting vice-captain of Team 13, I ordered Hwata and Manchi to escort the captain and the old man off the battlefield immediately. But she couldn't bear to leave him behind to face it alone, crying uncontrollably. Damn it, just let me handle this. However, he didn't want to see any more of his teammates bleed, so Min was determined to protect everyone this time. Enough already, Manchi. Even though facing these aliens was incredibly difficult and dangerous, Min still tried to smile. No, please, you know. The only thing that could buy us time against these monsters was my shield. With her small body, she could create such a large shield. Min could do this thanks to her fighting spirit until her last breath, so just stick to the plan and take care of the captain for me. Although they didn't want to leave her behind, the situation was too urgent, so they had to part ways here. Just don't die or I swear I'll kill you myself, the final code of Team 13 Wolf. When the team faced their final moment, they had to save the captain and survive to fight another day. The captain must survive. And no matter what happens, complete the mission to avenge the wolf. That is our vow. Then one day we will meet again with a smile and a drink on our graves. Ending the flashback, Hyok now faced the shadow of that brave boy from years ago. That was the last time he saw the big-eared kid, and now he saw her again, but in a different timeline. Although Hyok hadn't had the chance to say or do anything, Min suddenly tensed up. Are you one of Minsu's gang, Minsu, that punk kid who swore to take revenge on the big-eared kid? Indeed, the Lord of Escaping Pressing was different. The next moment, Hyok explained, Minsu, I don't even know who that is, and your name tag says Min, so when I saw your ears, I blurted out the big-eared name without thinking. Anyway, I'm sorry for calling you that, but you fell pretty hard earlier. You seem to care about your current situation. Then, Hyok intended to pick up the fallen item for Min, but he was quite confused when it turned out to be a knife, thinking she must have dropped this. Not wanting Hyok to get involved in this, she quickly picked it up. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I didn't notice and accidentally bumped into you. I'm sorry, Min hurriedly ran out of the store, leaving him standing there, bewildered. Right, she is someone else and at a different time. A connection won't happen in this lifetime, and Hyok continued to step inside. But halfway through, he suddenly stopped as if realizing something. Now Hyok suddenly awakened to something very important. Wait a minute, kid, don't tell me that. After accidentally running into Hyok at the convenience store, Min found herself in a confrontation with Minsu, that crazy dog. It was obvious that she couldn't take on their whole gang alone. Min was at a disadvantage and immediately got punched in the face. However, when Minsu threw that punch, Min managed to cut him painfully on the arm, making him furious. Minsu, are you okay, damn it? Did you just resist? One of the other two was furious like a chicken being slaughtered and kicked her. A slave like you dares to hold a knife. He beat Min so fiercely that the other one couldn't just stand by and watch anymore and rushed in to intervene. Hey, stop it, man, you're gonna kill her. But he not only didn't listen, he boldly shoved my hand away and shouted angrily, Get off me, I told you I would handle this bastard myself. Even though Min's face was bruised and scratched all over, they still had no intention of letting him go. He grabbed Min's hair, glaring with rage as if he wanted to devour him whole. You better remember this, you worthless slave. This is the price you pay for defying me, got it? But just then, an uninvited guest caught their attention. Hey man, don't come in here if you don't want to see something disgusting. As he turned around before he could finish his sentence, he was punched hard, twisting his face, truly a case of karma, not sparing anyone. And the one who taught him a lesson was none other than Hyok, the short guy with quick reflexes. They hadn't seen the coffin yet, and another fat guy charged at him. Who the hell are you, you bastard? But he wasn't Hyok's target, so Hyok easily threw him back as if it were nothing. Touch anyone but Hyok and you're asking for trouble. Despite his large build, he was taken down by Hyok in an instant without any unnecessary moves. Minsu, seeing a stranger jump in to mess things up, was furious and shouted, What the hell is this? Who the hell are you, you dog? Hyok, unfazed by his arrogance, introduced himself right away. I'm just the leader of the guy you were messing with. Min looked at Hyok with a mix of admiration and confusion. Wait, the guy from the convenience store earlier. When he heard Hyok introduce himself as a leader, his face twisted in fear. Are you with the Tamga gang? Hyok couldn't accept being labeled as part of some gang, so he punched Minsu in the face and retorted, I'm with the wolf pack, you punk. That means you're with Yongsan. In the next moment, Hyok continued to beat him up for his reckless words. So you're with Yongpal, huh? You're gonna regret it, you fool! At this point, Min could only stand outside, mouth agape. Wow! So strong, so cool, I want to be like him. They were finally defeated miserably at Hyok's hands. After cleaning up a bully who only picked on the weak, Hyok returned to the game, logging into the lobby. Jian scolded him for being late because of that idiot. Hyok suddenly recalled the moment Min had clung to him after he saved him, that clingy little brat. Hyok didn't expect that doing a good deed would land him in such an awkward situation. Please take me as your disciple, master. Get off me, I'm on a damn phone call. Were you just cursing at me? After this encounter with Min Hyok realized something extremely important he had to explain to Jian, that it was just a misunderstanding. But what if the big guy was in this timeline? That would mean the others from his old team could also be here. Should he go look for them, Hyok was struggling with whether to continue his mission or settle into his current life. But after thinking it over carefully, he decided to put the world-saving mission on hold. I should focus on my own mess first. because right now he was still swimming in a sea of unresolved issues. After all, he was drowning in debt and needed to pay that off first. Comp, open the chat window, let's make some quick cash. It immediately followed Hyok's command opening the chat window. We're live, hello Hyok the Great, are you finally on time this time? When he started streaming, Hyok greeted everyone, hi there. Yesterday's clip blew up. If you had streamed yesterday, you would have definitely hit #1, what a waste. Before we start playing, let's chat for a few minutes. I heard I made it to second place on Twerk's trending clips, right? Normally, I'd be #1, but that shadowy god ruined the rankings. Who wouldn't want to rewatch the scene where Anatol got his head smashed? Hearing that, Hyok wondered, shadowy god Anatol. Since yesterday, that shadowy god has been dominating ulti-fight, so when are you playing Valhalla? At everyone's curiosity, he suddenly remembered its presence. Wait now, I'm curious too. Before going into Valhalla, let me check out some scenes of that shadowy guy first. But as soon as he turned on the screen, Hyok was taken aback. Ramen, wait, is this? Isn't that me? When he pointed at the screen and recognized himself, everyone froze for 5 seconds in confusion. User Itu Junji just donated 10,001. He only bought Ultifight 3 days ago. Hyok quickly confirmed, that's right, and my playtime is about, and the number showing on the main screen is 16.8 hours. The entire chat exploded with laughter. A 3-day-old account not using the ultimate skill Fire Moon Kick, really. Hyok's current impressive record includes 27 wins and no losses. Hyok is amazing. This guy defeated Anatol in just 17 hours. Anatol has fallen. Is the god Hyok really going to quit Ultifight? Isn't he planning to play Valhalla right now? Not wanting to keep them waiting any longer, Hyok jumped into the game. All right, now that I've confirmed, let's play Valhalla. Seeing everyone's intense reactions, he asked, sorry, but didn't you all come here for Valhalla? User MadMoki donated 500,001, holding their breath, waiting for the great black fog to play Ultifight. User Titanaldu sent a mission for 130,001 win the next Ultifight match. User Up to Fight Hound sent a mission for 100,001 stream Ultifight for 24 hours if you don't achieve a 30-match win streak. User Lunar Shortchin sent a mission for 100,001 reach first place in Ultifight Fighter within 24 hours. After seeing these money-laden missions flooding in, Hyok was astonished. Wow, that adds up to over 1 million won? These missions are top-notch. There's no backing out now. We have to play Ultifight right. As a slave to capitalism, Hyok abandoned Valhalla and returned to his beloved Ultifight. Thinking back, he was really craving to play Ultifight today. The God Black Fog switching games is hilarious. This guy plays like a god and still gets lured in. He didn't keep everyone waiting any longer and started playing. All right, let's kick off Ultifight. Meanwhile, a heated debate was taking place elsewhere. It's not me. Confirm it on the Ultifight forum, my friend. Oh my god, that guy used Hoken to smash Anatol's face. If it's not Beyond, then who else could it be? Seeing everyone label him with that name, which wasn't even his, he got furious and slammed the table. Damn it, I'm really annoyed. I swear that's not me. If it were me, why would I hide? I've streamed and racked up a ton of views already. The one vehemently denying this was Beyond, a former professional Ultifight player, now a professional Iron Fist player. User Ultifight Coffin Touch donated 10001. Breaking news, the identity of the god Black Fog has been confirmed. It's not a former pro, just a streamer twerk. At this moment, he finally got a break. See, I told you it wasn't me. But who is this Black Fog player? I'm the one thinking, Black Fog, is that guy really Black Fog? Anatol thought the same, but got wrecked. Hearing this, Beyond also believed he just returned to Ultifight after a year. He probably hasn't had time to recover his form yet. All right, I'll show everyone I'm better than that god Black Fog. The comp started matching for Ultifight. Hearing Hyok's legendary reputation, Beyond wanted to test his skills against him. A match was found, Black Fog versus Beyond. The timing couldn't be better. The Hoken battle against the god Black Fog is about to begin. This is thrilling. Now a fiery clash between two hot players is about to unfold. Just mentioning it makes it even more exciting. All right, let me show you what I've got. It's time to show the god Black Fog what's up. Connecting to Ultimate Fighter, and this time the character Beyond is using is Hoken. He was filled with determination, predicting an exhilarating duel down to the last second. The first-generation Hoken Master is here. Make way for Beyond. At this moment, Hyok also appeared, and they exchanged a few words before the match. You're the rising star, the god Black Fog, right? Hello, Beyond. What is this matchmaking level? Hyok then turned to chat with his viewers. He seems quite popular, huh? Not quite at Anatol's level, but still among the top. There was a time he defeated Anatol. If Anatol was the one who directly elevated Hoken to a super level, making it meta enough to be called the father of Hoken, then Beyond is the one who has won the most tournaments with Hoken, so now people call him the rightful heir of Hoken. Basically, Beyond is the successor of Anatol plus the prodigy of Hoken. He was ready, just waiting for Hyok. Hyok, who reached super level in just 3 days, stood before a formidable opponent but showed no signs of fear. Watching this live feels like witnessing history. Hyok loves being in the lead, so he charged forward. Beyond, with his agile body, easily dodged Hyok's punch just as I thought. He started with a close-range attack. Because Beyond anticipated Hyok's moves, it wasn't too hard for him to dodge. Instead of using predictable techniques, he fought, instinctively mixing up his moves as he pleased. Every blow Hyok threw, Beyond could block. It seems this round might be a bit tough for Hyok, to be honest. Whatever move you throw, Beyond can block it all. Looks like this time it's going to be a tough one for Hyok, to be honest. It feels like I'm looking at myself on those days when I lose control. Hyok has been throwing down some earth-shattering punches non-stop, but he still hasn't landed a single hit on Beyond. It's a fierce attack, yet Beyond is still holding his ground, not backing down easily. Definitely a pure physical beast. Our boy Yondu is still in great form. Wow, he managed to hold out for a full 10 seconds against the god. This chat is making me laugh so hard. It's like Beyond is holding back. Just watch this guy's stream for 3 days and you'll see who's really better. As Hyok gradually keeps his distance, Beyond starts to frown in annoyance and shifts his strategy, pushing me back. There's no other way now. It's time to use the secret move I used on Anatol. At this moment, Hyok managed to hit Beyond, but he hesitated for a few seconds as he realized Beyond was plotting something. As expected, Beyond immediately used the power of Fire Flame to counter Hyok, his whole body ablaze with fire. With a backward leap, Liam Hoa Kwang Ba, this guy made Liam Hoa Kwang Ba explode in his hands. What the hell? The tremendous power of the two clashed in an instant, pushing both of them apart. The battle has reached a climax, neither willing to back down, and he's chaining moves into Liam Hoa Kwang Kwok. Wait, that's not Liam Kwok. I think he reversed the Liam Kwok technique. I can't recognize it anymore. Beyond is pouring all his strength into his legs and charging forward like a god with a fierce expression. It seems this time he's determined to go all out against Hyok, launching a punch filled with the fiery spirit of Hoa Liam, a true masterpiece. Liam Hoa Thuong at this moment Beyond seems to burst out of a blazing red sea, heading straight for Hyok, who is blinded by the divine fire and has to shield his eyes. Who would have thought Beyond would go this big? His last fire flame attack created quite a shockwave. A thunderous explosion of roaring flames followed. When they saw him create a massive crater capable of swallowing an entire building, everyone was stunned. Good grief, did he just combine the force of Liam Hoa Kwang Kwok with Liet Nguyet Quyen? Moreover, he even used remote control on Liet Nguyet Kwok to generate a spiraling force to enhance the destructive power. His ability to control his body is insane, seamlessly weaving between enhanced and non-enhanced states. Can anyone really do that? The ferocity and intensity of this technique have taken a toll on Beyond's body. Damn, the recoil from this move means I can only use it once per match. Still, while he thinks he's got this in the bag, Hyok is up high, preparing to counterattack. Not done yet, you fool. Beyond didn't expect he could come out unscathed after such a cataclysmic Hoa Liam attack. Just that alone isn't enough to trouble Hyok. He dives down from above with flaming hands, punching straight down to intimidate him. Beyond raises his fist, ready to join the fight, but he can't help but question Hyok's resilience. How can you still be standing? Who would have guessed Hyok had been observing Beyond's attack patterns and applying them? Thanks to you, I've learned something cool, enhanced and non-enhanced, then transitioning the recoil into Hong Viem Ba. When he saw Hyok pick it up so quickly, Beyond couldn't believe it and pointed directly at him. No way, that's a move I spent months perfecting. You're telling me you copied it after just one explanation. With superior combat skills and plenty of experience, it didn't take long for him to learn. Honestly, it's not that hard. I countered your attack with Hong Viem Ba. Then I used the recoil from Liet Nguye Kwok to teleport. Beyond still didn't want to believe what he was hearing and demanded Hyok to say something that made sense. He then pointed to the countless wounds on his arm and questioned what about the explosion when the flames erupted. You can't just ignore that damage, right? Every time you trigger the Hong VM, the recoil tears apart the affected area. You know that, don't you? But why is there not a single scratch on you? What are you playing at? Indeed, looking back, Hyok was completely unscathed, not a mark on him. Seeing Beyond looking clueless, Hyok kindly offered advice on how to avoid getting hurt. You just need to pull your hands back before the explosion happens like this. The more Hyok demonstrated, the more Beyond questioned life itself. What nonsense is this, sharing the ultimate winning strategy? Just pull your hands back before getting hit, easy peasy, right? And the reason Hyok has so much experience and mastery in this is revealed. Damn, thinking back, we used to dare each other to stick our hands into the mouths of those giant crocodile monsters, losing quite a few fingers because of that. I don't know if Hyok intends to guide him or just tease him, but he's showing off a bit too much. Anyway, like I said, pull your hands back before the damage can hit you. That's the trick, Hyok. You're amazing. At this point, the adrenaline inside him was still boiling, so Hyok suggested, since watching Beyond's technique inspired me, let's have another round. Beyond, invited by his opponent, didn't refuse and immediately decided to go all out against him. All right then, let's see how good you really are. Your new move is indeed something. But who would have guessed Hyok would charge forward like a god using the technique he learned from Beyond that's Hong Diem Trung Keech from me. Since this is Beyond's technique, he could somewhat anticipate it. If that's the case, the next move will be Thuong, a straight-line attack. However, he completely miscalculated when Hyok suddenly used a completely different attack pattern. I'll dodge it before it hits me. Wait, that's not Thuong. It's just a regular kick. Hyok unleashed a powerful flaming kick forward, predicting he would create another shockwave. The battle is getting more intense as both sides unleash all their strength against each other. Beyond, with a face scrunched up like a monkey eating chili, is trying to hold on. Don't tell me it's the fiery whirlwind kick, okay? If I can withstand just one hit from it, I'll have a chance to counterattack. Surprise, old man. It's not just the fiery whirlwind kick, but it's the fiery whirlwind storm kick. Beyond is now caught in a sea of flames with no way out. Just a second ago, he was full of confidence, and now he's being beaten to a pulp. Beyond's eyes are turning white as he slowly fades away. What kind of damn game is this? How did he win in such a fog? After a chaotic fight, Hyok has achieved a convincing victory. The legend chains the fiery whirlwind kick into a soul flame combo right after the first move ends. Damn, I want to be like the great Hyok. Come on, you crazy fool. I can't believe Jan got it perfectly. No matter how impressive Beyond's winning streak was, he still had to lose to him. But he still isn't satisfied and wants to have another match to settle the score. Let's do it again. Look at Jan giving it his all. A true genius simply crushes everything beneath him. When he gets to throw a punch against Beyond, Hyok feels really excited. I'm enjoying this match too, I guess. Hearing that Beyond feels a surge of energy, fists ablaze, charging forward. Then I'll come back here. However, Hyok has never lost, so no matter how many times he tries again, he remains the absolute victor. How did he win in such a fog? 5 matches already. That means Jan just got crushed 5 times in a row. In the last match, he even bowed after losing. Look at him trying to be polite. Everyone burst into laughter at Beyond's embarrassing defeat. Jan's new ultimate move is the Black Bullet Barrage, and yet the god in the fog countered perfectly right away. Your move is really impressive. Jan's brain has officially fried, and now he has no strength left to fight him, so he has to concede. After that, Hyok approaches Beyond, extends his hand, and praises him about his powerful moves. That 3-jump into the Black Flame Barrage was incredibly cool. I learned a lot from that. Now get up. He doesn't stubbornly resist anymore and reaches out for Hyok to help him up. Damn if you learned something that's good. Beyond now has a completely different view of Hyok. Those techniques based on the system are quite interesting, huh? He'll probably become a decent hunter. The god in the fog just stands there. Is he preparing something? Remember the comment about defeating the female swordsman and Anatol. He lost 5 matches in a row. Serves him right, doesn't it? Suddenly, when reminded of his actions after defeating Anatol, he intends to do the same with Beyond. Actually, I was trying to compliment them sincerely. I didn't mean to mock them, but what can I say? The audience demands it. After wrapping things up, he immediately goes for it. You're beyond right. That's right. Then Hyok points directly at him. He immediately praises Beyond, but it's actually a jab at him. Beyond, you have talent. Well then, see you next time. Let's have fun again. When Hyok logs out after teasing him, Beyond looks visibly annoyed. You really are talented, Beyond. That's why I watch Hyok stream. However, everyone still wants him to keep streaming, urging him to jump right into the next match. Let's go for the next round speed run. It seems Hyok now has a huge following with viewers reaching 12,048. Look at how many people are watching us. But at this moment, he's puzzled about one thing. Wait, if the viewers increase, why doesn't the mission reward go up? Is there a glitch? The money-grabbing mode is on. Honestly, I really like his consistency, but isn't there a mission for coming in first? Let's hunt some high-ranked players. Hyok goes along with everyone's wishes and continues the journey. All right then, let's keep going. And everything is going smoothly. Hyok's winning streak continues. Victory. All the opponents he faces are taken down in the blink of an eye. And thus, Hyok's winning streak keeps growing. With his overwhelming power, he has dominated the leaderboard. Wherever Hyok goes, he sweeps everything away. No opponent can even touch a hair on him. How did he win in such a fog? Seeing that none of the recent opponents are worthy of him, he decides to look for new challengers. Now it's time to find a tougher match. You must have wiped out quite a few decent players already. Breaking news. Wilder has quietly logged off the stream, citing that his mom called him for dinner. When he saw that no one was challenging him anymore today, Hyok decided not to stream here, so I guess that's it for today. However, just as he was about to log out, Comp found a match for him. He found a game. Quickly, Hyok's next opponent appeared. Good evening, I'm here to find the one who defeated Anatol, so I've queued up a match on the Korea server. And the guy in the purple suit with the incredibly cool red hair is Wolfgang, who has already tried the Korea Sava Gacha. How surprising it is that Hyok's opponent this time is a foreigner, a Japanese guy, suddenly turning into a Korean in Japanese. Isn't that Suki, the one they call Anatol from Japan? The user, Alpid Wagon, donated $1,000. Suki, a famous fighting game player from Japan at the end of his career, has won 2 more world championships, proving himself not just an ultimate fighter, but also in Iron Fist, as one of the top players in Asia, mainly playing an ulti-fight. Suki looks really excited to face Hyok. A punch for 1,001, that's a bit too much. Can't resist a hot bowl of noodles, huh? If you're going to write more than 3 lines, at least donate 5,001. Since Hyok doesn't understand Japanese, he's also preparing to set up a bit before starting. It's on activating the translation feature. At this moment, he's so confident he hasn't seen the coffin and hasn't shed a tear. He's the dark horse who defeated Anatol, right? I will be the first to defeat this Korean master. His energy is quite adorable, judging by how Tsuki acts. He probably hasn't heard about our guy yet. Oh, I'm so eager to see the Japanese reaction now. He's ready to fight you. Go for it. But Hyok, aren't you going to change your character? Listening to everyone's suggestion, Hyok decided to give it a try. Since you mentioned it, maybe this time I'll try switching characters. Which character should it be, Yamazaki or Steve, the one you fought against that female swordsman? Hyok pointed forward and decided that character. And the character he chose is Wolfgang. Are you seriously picking Wolfgang to fight against Suki, the master of Wolfgang? A match with the same character is about to happen. I can't wait.